area code. Close to the Jacksonville one. What are we thinking for a poll question?
I didn't mind yours.
What was mine again? Oh, opening day or first day of the tournament?
Yeah.
I didn't know if we also wanted to say first round of the Masters, but I thought the Masters would win.
Well, I think March Madness would kill baseball opening day.
Okay. You want to throw in first?
I like leaving these two.
Okay. But I mean opening day, not the tournament as a whole, just
right.
You know. Your sheet of integrity right there.
When I fill it out, it will be.
Okay. Ambient, Chris, AJC, Paul. Hello, friends. No Nance this tournament.
Yeah, we'll get enough of them during the commercials.
You got that right.
First time no Nance since what, the late 80s? I mean, his first
I can remember.
His first Final Four was 91.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on one of the great days of the year. Christmas has come early for many of us. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is millerandmoulton.com. You can, well, keep track of us, participate, chastise us at Miller_Moulton on X. Mark, it is officially madness.
You're damn right it is. And it was a nice little event they threw in Dayton to get us warmed up for some of us that like to watch and enjoy the games, because yesterday's games were at least entertaining, albeit the second one was a bit of a rock fight.
Listen, I'll tell you what, those 2-16 battles, okay, those were good games.
They were.
Those were nice. You know what? Maybe throw the 16s in Dayton. Let them go at it. They'll give us games. They'll play entertaining basketball. These majors and mid-majors, whatever. Get with the program, guys. Get with the program. And for those two that advanced, the Colorados who advanced, all right, you better show up with more than that if you want to advance beyond now. But, Mark, this is – my wife said to me, since we're both working from home these days, she said, listen, I hope it's okay. I got meetings and this, from noon to 2, and then tomorrow 1 to 3, and I even got a thing on Saturday. Is it okay that I'm tied up on Saturday from 1 to 3? And I looked at her and I said, "Is there any way you can make it like 1 to 6?" And she just looked at me and I went, "Honey, do you know what starts at noon today?" And her eyes lit up. She went, "Oh, that's right." I go, "Yes." I said, "I love you, but you're not needed these next 4 days."
Yeah, I'm in an interesting situation because my mother-in-law's in town. And I don't have to entertain my mother-in-law, but she doesn't realize the levels at which she's going to disappear at 12:10 today.
Should you watch this game elsewhere?
No, my house. This is my house.
Oh, here's Eddie Murphy. Oh, here we go. Mark
Just
Miller.
roll Anna and Fufu around in the ground. Okay.
Put the fire out. Okay.
That's
All
a
right.
fire. No.
Oh,
She asked, she said, "Are you watching?" She did ask me, "Are you watching in the living room or are you watching out on the back?" So I've got a big TV on our back lanai. And I said, no, I'll be watching right here. I'll be on this couch from 12:10 tomorrow until right around midnight. I'll leave for bathroom breaks.
Thought you were going to say both. Basically, I'm commandeering all the area. I may need to pace, may need to walk around, and may need some air. So the answer is both. We have a lovely upstairs, a spare bedroom. Okay. Besides, that's where the daughter is. That's really who you came to see anyway. So just, the downstairs is mine. I commandeer it for like 7 days a year. 4 of them begin at noon.
I'm fired up. And my team plays the first game, which is even better.
How great is that, by the way?
It really is.
Isn't that like the NFL playoffs when your team's in the first wild card game and you're like, good, let's do this. Let's go.
Hopefully my team can deliver me a W, so the rest of the day will be with a lot of enthusiasm, but I don't take the losses as hard as I used to. I know that Trent is feeling it a lot more than I am right now. He has been trying to call Tom Izzo most of the morning.
Trent, how much sleep did you get last night? I'm being very serious.
3.5 hours.
How much?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
So you were after Boise and Colorado. You were still just
crunching the numbers.
What? Now, what numbers are there to crunch? I thought you'd be like the selection committee. You just had one spot left. Come on.
As much as I loved Florida, I had to look at the actual matchup now that we know who they're going to play. I still picked them. I'm sure we'll get to all that stuff later. But I actually filled out the bracket early this morning at about 1 o'clock.
Wow. So you're going to go into what happens if Sparty loses?
I will move on, and I will be somewhat relieved that this ridiculous, painful season is over. That's the nice thing about them playing first.
Sure he will.
No, I mean, but
Sure
of course I'll be disappointed, but I'll move on quickly. It's March Madness. Let's go.
I'm going to hold him to that.
Okay.
I'm going to hold him to that.
I will too. If they lose, they'll lose at around 2:15, 2:20. All right, maybe as late as 2:30. What time should I reach out to him? About 10 to 4? See how he's doing?
I'll reach out earlier than that.
Say you need a cocktail? All right.
Time for a Miller Lite there, young man?
Support?
You know what? For your guys' sake, you probably would like to see Michigan State lose just so I can prove to you how much I love this tournament.
No, because I want you on another 3.5 hours sleep tomorrow morning, doing the show, all with that punchy, tired adrenaline thing you got going. Yeah, no, I want them to win. Plus, I picked them in the tournament. I nearly picked them to do damage, and then I said, "All right, it's calm down." Calm down. They managed to lose. That's what this Michigan State team manages to do. They managed to lose. So
they play really good, close, tight games and lose them.
Yes,
that's what they do.
Right. So I'll give them an 8-9 win All right, just because I like nines. All right, I pick nines, but no, that's it. It stops there. So yes, the madness gets underway in 6 hours. It's glorious. It's tell you what. Here's my nomination for a poll question. I know it's early, but basically something having to do with opening days, opening nights. All right. And what excites you more? Like opening day of the baseball season, opening day of the tournament. I don't know if you want to throw in like opening day of the Masters, round one of the Masters, for the right vernacular. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about because you can't do football. Football would skew
No,
everything.
football wins everything,
Right.
but
So it's just a thought.
oh no, and I like your thought. I think this is bigger than opening day of baseball. I think this is bigger than the first round of the Masters. I think this is because of these damn brackets, this sheet of paper, that so many more people fill them out.
Mm-hmm.
And even my wife, who has lost a lot of her fandom in sports with work and a daughter and everything else, she knows the madness is here.
Okay.
So I like it. And I mean, this should be, as much as everybody wants the Monday after the Super Bowl off, this is the day that half days are invented for.
Ooh.
This is the day you take a half day vacation for.
Actually, you know what the day off should be? It should be tomorrow. Because you can put in a good productive half day today. You really could. You could get in a half a day of work, and then you can just find a way to play hooky. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We've all done it. You
this the real
find a way
reason
to
you
play
guys switched
hooky
to
for half
mornings?
a day. What, Trent?
Is this the real reason you switched to mornings?
No.
Don't get
No.
Moulton started. He
No.
still hates the fact that we do
Hate
mornings.
it.
Okay.
Absolutely hate it. All right. I'm an afternoon drive guy. I am. Thanks, Trent. Appreciate that.
Just you might have just derailed the show at 6:10 in the morning.
Golly.
Me personally, I love the mornings.
Yes,
I'm
he
all
does.
in.
Yep, all in. Yep.
Moulton, on the other hand, would switch back to afternoons tomorrow if given the choice.
This is where giving him top billing on the show came back to haunt me. All right.
And it really wouldn't matter because of David's other jobs. This does work best.
I know.
For what you do for a living now.
It really does. It works better, but I hate until the show starts, and then I love it because I love doing the show.
And you love it at 10 a.m.
I do. I do.
I mean, 6 to 10, I know you love, and you're great because you can be grumpy and ornery. And when you hear the music, you perk up, you get a little adrenaline, and you're great.
Mm-hmm.
But don't kid yourself. At 10:01 when the day's over, it doesn't suck.
It's kind of like, I guess, for those of you that exercise, it's kind of like, right when the workout's over. And you're proud of yourself. You're like, oh, man, I feel good. This was good. This was, yeah. All right. That's kind of how it feels at 10:01. But we can all play hooky for half a day. But think about it. We head to the sports bar, or we head home and then, we treat ourselves. We stay up. We watch some madness. Hopefully there's like an upset that gets us really keyed up. And then what if we had tomorrow off? Huh? Now we're talking. So that would be my nomination for a national holiday. Actually, let's do it tomorrow.
No, you're not. You're on to something because even last night I stayed up and watched the entire Colorado Boise game. Almost. I mean, there was 30 seconds left. The fouls came. I'm like, this is done. And there's no way Boise can cover. So it's done.
Right.
And went to bed. And I'm like, man, it's late. I got to get up in a couple hours to do this show. But I woke up. I was a little later than normal to get here, but I'm ready. I can do it again tomorrow. But I would like to sleep.
Right. Then this way everybody can make it through Thursday, stay up even for the late games, and everybody can sleep in a little bit and be fully prepared for a full day Friday, which really sets into a full weekend. So that's my nomination. Everybody wants it to be. What I would just do is move the NFL season back a week. Okay. Then it would take place the Sunday before President's Day. That'd be great. But I'm talking about to add a national holiday. If we're going to do it, let's do it for tomorrow. I don't know what we call it, though. I mean, who do we name it after? Bryce Drew?
No, we
Christian Leitner?
We name it after John Wooden.
John Wooden. I'm with you.
Yeah, but this wasn't really a huge thing when Wooden was winning all his titles,
Yeah, but I'm not naming it after Coach K.
I don't know. I got that.
All right, let's just get that straight right now.
So we're at Wooden Day? Hey, you guys, what are you doing on Wooden Day? Well, what do you mean, what am I doing?
21,000. What should we name tomorrow when it becomes a national holiday and we get it all off? But we will have a poll question centered around the madness as well. What opening day is better? The madness, the opening day of the baseball season, round one of the Masters. We'll get that up. Great show lined up for you. As the madness begins, we are Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So just an idea I had. I don't know how you guys want to attack the bracket or how much you want to attack the bracket, but at the 10 o'clock, or not 10 o'clock, the 10-minute segment, we could do one region per hour. Or if you just want to fill the whole last hour with it.
No, I think we'll do it at 8:38 only because it's too hard to get. Plus, I don't want it in the non-syndicated hour to finish.
Yeah.
That's the main reason.
No, that makes sense. You're right.
How about your boy Sutton there?
Yeah, that ain't good. I don't know. He's obviously denying it.
Well, if he was denying it, why wouldn't he go to the police instead of run away?
Yeah, I don't know. Good point. I mean, he's done.
What are we talking about here?
Sutton, the DB for the Lions, is wanted on domestic violence charges, and
there's a warrant out for his arrest.
And they can't find him.
Oh, that's seemingly an issue.
Opening day of baseball, first day of the NCAA tournament, round 1 of the Masters.
There you go.
I like throwing the Masters in there. I think that's good. Bang, it's up. Close between the Masters and the tournament to me, but the tournament wins.
I appreciate the alliteration in the Twitch chat room. Okay, like a wooden weekend. All right, if you do it on Friday.
Like the Gavitt games.
Yeah, make it a thing, like the Soul series.
Genius, whoever came up with that.
See what they did there?
Auburn Tigers, by the way. That is who I have winning it all.
Yamamoto's given up 3, 1 out.
So, did you guys see they're remaking Roadhouse?
Yes.
Why?
Why mess with a classic?
Yeah, I mean, especially that one. I feel
because they can't come up with any new material, and they know that a whole bunch of people that like the original, half of them will go see it.
No, that's fair, but I guess I'd rather see them do something like Top Gun. Like,
Well, they
They
did.
did.
That.
It's called
They're gonna do-
Maverick.
and they're going to do it
I
again.
know that's what I'm saying. Like make a movie called Roadhouse, but something else, and have some of the old cast members in it. I know Swayze's not around anymore, but
Yeah, which, by the way, is that would seem to be an issue for most. I mean, this
Dig
is
'em
kinda
up.
it's like a daytime soap. Okay, we're just gonna, and the role
dig them up.
of Charles Smith is now being played. I'm sorry, what? Wait, we have the understudy today? What? It's like showing up for a Broadway play. Hey, who's this guy?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour on this, one of the best days of the year. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. In fact, how good of a sports day is it? How special? Best opener, if you will. First day of March Madness, opening day of Major League Baseball, round 1 of the Masters. We'll just stick with this time of year. This like 3-week period in time, because the Masters begins 3 weeks today. Major League Baseball season for everybody begins a week from today. And then, of course, in 6 hours, well, Dayton was the warm bread that they put on the table. Okay, but come on, now the food starts showing up.
Does it matter for you if the bread's warm or not?
Does it matter? No.
It's
Because I
almost
love-
like you get a little extra excitement when you reach into the reach under the napkin and that bread's warm and you go, oh, look at that.
Very much so. Yes. It's like, oh. But is it necessary? Hell no. That bread doesn't have a chance. Doesn't have a chance.
Just
It's
curious,
just-
what are your thoughts on the big warm pretzel?
What do you mean? What are my thoughts?
What
You
are
mean
your thoughts?
in place of bread?
No, maybe in addition to.
Oh, it's glorious.
Just making sure. I was at a place yesterday. They had a pretzel. I mean,
Yeah, the bigger the better.
it just gigantic.
I I prefer one that has its own backhoe with it. That they have to bring it out from the kitchen on the machinery. Okay, that's how big I prefer my pretzel to be. Yes. So glorious.
And for
I'm
those
not.
asking, cheese and mustard, both were brought, and it was wonderful.
It's funny. I'll do the cheese and mustard. I will, but I don't need it, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
I can just do the pretzel. So then if you're gonna give me cheese and mustard, you can imagine my level of excitement.
I don't know if it's the type of excitement. What are you going to do today? I am very curious. What are you going to do today at noon? Are you staying home? Are you getting I mean, usually this used to be 50 wings, a pitcher of beer,
Yep.
and you and a buddy. I didn't even get invited to this. You guys left me out, and that's fine. It was your thing. So what are
Right.
you going to do today?
We started it before you.
Right.
And it's true. Okay. We didn't at first, you were not even invited. It
No.
was like we were gone. Boom. I know I don't have a buddy. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drive around for about however a half hour, an hour, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, just let the moment steer me. Mark, me and my car is gonna be like a Ouija board. Okay. I'm just gonna have my hand on the thing and I'm just gonna wait to see where it takes me. It may take me back to the condo. It may take me to an establishment. I'm just going to follow. Just going to follow it. I am, however, right at the very beginning of the tournament, I'm going to listen to it on the radio because I want to hear the guy with the threatening voice. And now it's time for Westwood One's coverage of the 2024 NCAA tournament, brought to you by Ritz Munchables. Eat them or die.
Nothing better. Nothing better. We're fired up for the tournament. We'll get to our brackets in the 8 o'clock hour of our predictions. Although, day one of the Dayton tournament went really well for us. Day two, not so much.
No. Overthought it. Have a system with the spattle of 16s. You always take the points. But we were convinced that Montana State was better than Grambling. The metrics said so also. So we said, no, we're going to go against the system. We're going to lay the points. And they were the better team, and they blew it. They choked like big dogs.
They really did.
They were
good for
14.
Grambling to come back and fight through all that. But they got a bit lucky, and now they get to go play Purdue.
Right. And let me tell you, Purdue's got one player in particular that Montana State doesn't have. They don't have a Zach Edey in the SWAC. Okay, they don't. That's a holy. What do we got here? Yeah. Hey, there is a story out there that is not going to get nearly the ink and the conversation that it should because of when the story broke, which is within 12 hours of the madness really taking place. But how about this Otani's interpreter story, huh?
Who's he got in the tournament? And I don't mean Otani.
Okay, there's two parts of this story. One, the fact that Otani's interpreter, one of the people he's closest to in life, apparently is a huge gambling problem. And here's the thing. See, Otani has played Major League Baseball in the state of California. Mark, there are 10 states that do not allow sports gambling in them. California is one of them.
Yes, it is, David.
So the whole $4.5 million in losses, I think, is illegal. But certainly some of it is. I mean, apparently he owes DraftKings a lot of money. But there's this other site that he owes a ton of money to. And yeah, that's but here's the thing. See, Ohtani paid the guy's debts off. He did. At least that was the story from an Ohtani spokesperson, which of course I have to ask the question, isn't this guy Ohtani's spokesperson? But anyway, so someone close to Ohtani told ESPN on Tuesday afternoon that Ohtani, this guy came to him last fall and said, I owe $4.5 million. And Ohtani said, are you serious? Don't do it again. And paid off his debts. ESPN was doing a big story on this. Then by yesterday, when this guy's getting fired and arrested, the same Ohtani person told ESPN, no, Ohtani didn't pay off his debts. The guy stole the money from Ohtani. And ESPN's reporter is like, 18 hours ago, I got what you told me right here. So I'm sorry, which is it? Did Ohtani know about it and actually pay off the debts? Or did the guy steal the money from Ohtani and Ohtani didn't know? According to someone close to Ohtani, on Tuesday it was one story and on Wednesday it was another.
Yeah, not only did he know, he paid off the man's debts.
Right.
Then he stole the money.
Right. So he knew in the fall and paid off the guy's debts and told him, don't do it again. That was the Tuesday night story. The Wednesday afternoon story was, wait a minute, the guy stole the money from Ohtani. Ohtani didn't know anything about it. Really? Really? So he's not just his interpreter, he's handling his money?
Well, I mean, this is really easy to find out. If Ohtani wired the money like they allege that he did to pay off the debts, then he knew.
Well, but I mean, in theory, could I, let's just say you and I, very close business arrangement, the whole deal, it's your money. I can't. But the thing is, the first story was, oh yeah, man, we knew about it October, November, and we paid off his debts. Then the next day is, that guy's a rotten thief. I knew nothing.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GI certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
5-0 Padres after first half inning.
Did he make it through it?
Yeah.
'Cause
I don't think they pulled him. I wasn't watching that closely, but they came out once. I thought he pitched the whole inning.
43 pitches. 43 pitches.
That was Ohtani's first inning.
No, Yamamoto.
Oh. That's right. Ohtani's not pitching. What am I thinking?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't
Trent?
know.
Are you thinking?
What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, Canada relief. He's within 50. Does he get it by the end of next year?
No.
I don't think he does either. I think he does it early fall of 25. Although he is on a bit of a heater right now, 15 goals since the All-Star break. Kilos, did you go to Bradenton for that?
Saw the
Yeah.
Tigers crush the Twins yesterday.
Yeah, nobody played. They didn't really bring anybody, did they?
No, not really. Kerry Carpenter, who's I think going to be the DH, he played. Kreidler will be on the team.
Oh, that's right, Kilos. The Orioles are Sarasota, right? Bradenton's the Pirates. My bad. Yeah, it's a shame what's happened to spring training. Like 20 years ago, in early March, the Yankees played the Red Sox in Fort Myers, and literally it was like March 10th, 12th, something like that. And we actually broadcasted the game on the local station. And the first three batters for the Yankees were like Jeter, A-Rod, and Bernie Williams. I mean, they sent their regular lineup to play. And now by rule, they only have to send 4 guys that are on the 40-man roster. That's the rule. Just 4 out of the 40. So
Yeah,
they
by
get
the end of the game I was at yesterday, there were like 6 guys out there with without names on the back, just the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of Tigers. We stopped it. We went. My wife had the idea. We went to the Edison Ford Estate yesterday. Never had done that in all the time I've lived here.
Wow.
Wife wanted to do it. We did it. It was nice. And then stopped at the Coldwater Oyster Market on the way home. My daughter knocked down a dozen oysters.
You're raising her right. Did your mother-in-law like it?
Yeah.
Is that Pinchers open there? Because I remember after the hurricane, they thought it'd be a year and a half.
I couldn't tell you.
Freddie Freeman's teeth are out of control. Do you know what I'm talking about or no? He has the fakest teeth I've ever seen. Go look it up, seriously.
Freddie Freeman's are really good.
Oh yeah, he is. I like him too. I wish things went differently for him in Atlanta at the end.
Well, if he had a different agent.
Yeah, his agent absolutely screwed him.
Look at this. A couple of foul balls at a spring training game. Hot damn.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Shane McNichol. Talk some college hoops on this, the first day of the tournament. Woohoo! In fact, we're going live all day. We're going live till noon. We're going to lead right into the tournament. No?
Excuse me?
Apparently not. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, the warm bread on the tables, the first 4 in Dayton. No more bread being served at dinner. Now it's time for the main course. Grambling rallied from 14 down in the second half, forced overtime, and then beat Montana State 88-81. It's their first ever win in the NCAA tournament, considering it was their first ever game in the NCAA tournament. Good for Grambling. Next up, Purdue. Enjoy your stay. Meanwhile, Colorado, in the battle of the 10 seeds, beat Boise 60-53. This was not an entertaining game. Just close enough to keep you watching, but never really fulfilling. The first game, warm bread. Second game,
Stale bread.
Colorado won at 60-53. They'll play the Gators next tomorrow. One note in the women's NCAA tournament, they do a first 4 also. Columbia was the second bid from the Ivy League. Columbia got the final bid of the tournament at the expense of the University of Miami. Columbia lost to Vandy 72-68. So Vandy will face our good friend Nikki Conlon and Baylor in the tournament. But I just thought I'd mention it since most people felt the tournament, they took Columbia over Miami. Columbia lost. All right, first game of the tournament today, Michigan State, Mississippi State. 15 minutes after high noon. Only one seed in action today. That's North Carolina. They're hosting Wagner. Wagner's only got 7 guys, you know. No, seriously. They only have 7 players. So, you know, even when they get tired and even when they get down 30, they only got 7 guys. There's only one 5-12 matchup today. And the 12s didn't win a game in last year's tournament, which is remarkable. But think about it. We had 2 5s in the Final 4. Gonzaga McNeese State today is the 5-12 matchup. I'm picking McNeese. Straight up.
Good. That makes 2 of us. So I would lay all your money on the Zags.
Major League Baseball. Yesterday, the Dodgers beat the Padres 5-2 in South Korea. San Diego seems genuinely annoyed. They are playing right now. It's 5-1 Padres. We're still in the first inning. This game began 35 minutes ago. Padres scored 5 in the first. Yamamoto, remember $100+ million bucks? Yamamoto? Yeah, he threw 43 pitches in his first inning in the majors, gave up 5 runs. Dodgers are answering Ohtani with a hit. I think he scored a run.
He scored. Bases are jammed with 2 outs right now for the Dodgers.
So there you
go.
go.
Back to what you were doing. I've got good baseball on.
If it's 5-1 in the first, Padres Dodgers. You can switch over to Mark Miller's fledgling cable channel, AM Sports, if you want to see how the rest of the day goes. Although at this pace, they're not going to be able to show the final inning. Speaking of Ohtani, apparently his interpreter, he has a gambling problem. He lost $4.5 million, and it was paid off to bookkeepers. Now the question is, did Ohtani know about it and pay it off? And even if so, is that a problem? Is that a crime? Does that violate any of baseball's gambling rules? The player's not the one doing the gambling, but he's the one paying off the gambling debts. Or is it, no, the guy stole the money from Ohtani. Ohtani didn't know anything about it. Because apparently people close to Ohtani have said both things to ESPN 18 hours apart. The story they're going with now, and they're going to stick to it for as long as they can, is the guy stole the money. And Ohtani didn't know anything about it.
$4.5 million stolen, and he didn't know anything about it, huh?
Mizuhara is the interpreter's name. He's the former interpreter now of Ohtani, Mizuhara. Mizuhara has insisted throughout that Ohtani doesn't gamble. Doesn't drink. Okay, it's my debts, not his. For what it's worth, sports gambling is illegal in the state of California, one of 10 states in the country where it is not legal. Let's talk some NFL, shall we? Odell Beckham visited with the Dolphins yesterday. What do you think about that for a number 3 receiver? I mean, he can still play.
If he can still play and the numbers right, yeah, why not?
Cleveland signed running back Deontay Foreman. Nick Chubb not expected to be ready to go at the beginning of the season. All right. Did you hear what the NFL Competition Committee proposed yesterday? First off, they're proposing to be voted on to outlaw the whole hip drop tackle technique, that it's be illegal and a 15-yard penalty. Interestingly enough, the Players Association is against it. They're basically saying, yeah, we don't think the officials can determine what is a hip drop tackle and what isn't. And so it'll just mess the game up even more. So while obviously we're into player safety, we don't want to put more on the officials' plate. It's interesting that the NFLPA came out and said that yesterday, because here's the competition committee actually making a rule change to, in theory, make the game safer. And the Players Association said, no, don't go there. We don't trust you guys to be able to get it right. Okay. They also proposed a revamped kickoff rule. You paying attention? I wrote this out in like 7 different parts. I hope I got it right. So we're going to kick off at the 35-yard line. No fair catches allowed. Touchbacks go to the 35-yard line, not the 25-yard line. You'll have the kicker and the returner. The kickoffs will still take place at the 35-yard line. However, the 10 guys covering the kicks will be across midfield on the opponent's 40. They'll be lined up. They cannot move until the ball hits the ground or is caught. Also, none of the blockers. 9 of the blockers have to be lined up between the 30 and 35-yard line, and they can't move either.
Sounds like they had one of those old electric football games out and just kept putting different formations on until they got to one that looked fun.
Apparently, this is a lot of what the XFL did in their second, redo here. This is a lot of what they did on their kickoffs. So this is being proposed. They kick the ball from the 35. Only the kicker and the returner can move until the ball hits the ground or is caught. And then the guys covering the kick, all 10 of them, they'll be lined up across midfield, across the 40. And at least 9 of the blockers, 9 guys have to be lined up between the 30 and the 35 directly across from them. No fair catches. But if they kick the ball through the end zone, the touchback, the ball's at the 35, not the 25. Also, onside kick, no more surprise onside kicks. You'd have to literally let the officials know we want an onside kick, and then they'd go and do it the way they normally do. Line it up at the 35 and 10 yards and the whole deal. That's what's being proposed. It's going to be voted on. If it's passed, it's only going to get a 1-year deal. and then they'll see how it works, etc. Cam Sutton, Lions defensive back. He's wanted for domestic battery charges near Tampa. College football, the ACC said, you sued us, we can sue you, Clemson. And so they did, and they're seeking damages. That'd be a curious case to make. Did you hear who Nebraska's new AD is? He's Washington's AD, Troy Dannon. Do you know when Troy took the Washington Huskies AD job? Last October. Right. Talk to me about the players transferring again. Anybody? That's right. By the way, during his time at Washington, he fired the men's basketball coach and he had to hire a new football coach. And he was handling their transition from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. SEC says, yeah, we'll do 2 more years of an 8-game football schedule in conference. Not only 2024, we'll stay with 8 for 2025 as well. They released their schedule yesterday. NBA, Heat, Terry Rozier, a 3 with under 15 seconds to go to beat the Cavs, 107-104. Celtics nearly blew an 18-point fourth quarter lead. They held off Milwaukee without Giannis by 3. OKC's the number 1 seed out west right now by a half game over Denver. They beat Utah by 12. Phoenix, Grayson Allen, 32 points. He hit 9 threes. That's kind of impressive. Phoenix beat Philly by 13. Did you hear everything that went on with the T-Wolves yesterday? First off, this guy who was not officially an assistant coach, but kind of sort of was, yeah, he not only got fired, he got arrested. Okay, 3rd-degree felony theft. Apparently taking a whole bunch of material he shouldn't. I don't know what he was going to do with it. But anyway, and so remember A-Rod?
Connor Stallions was coaching basketball.
And remember A-Rod's buying the T-Wolves?
Right.
Started the process 3 years ago. Had to make 3 payments. Made the first one. Okay, got 20% of the team. Made the second one. Got 20% more of the team. Well, his 3rd payment's due Wednesday. Yeah, the people who were going to finance it said, you know what? We're not financing it anymore. So A-Rod and Mark Lore had to come up with $300 million. They feel they got somebody to give them the money. Don't know who it is. They sent the paperwork to the league, and hope it goes through. So NHL, Toronto, 2 goals from Austin Matthews. He's got 57, by the way. Don't know if he gets to 70, but probably get the mid-60s. Ovi with 2 goals. Ovechkin. Washington lost to Toronto, however, 7-3. Ovechkin's 50 goals behind Gretzky to be the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history. This was a really big game for the Minnesota Wild last night, and they lost to the Kings 6-0, trying to chase down the final playoff spot. That's a bad loss. PGA Tour, Valspar gets underway today in Palm Harbor. And the LPGA Tour, they're back in the States. The Sayri Pak Championship in California gets underway today. And we're in the 2nd inning now. 5-1 Padres over the Dodgers. Make sure you turn to Mark Miller's AM Sports Network to watch that. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways on the kickoff proposal.
Thumbs down. I hate everything about it.
Okay.
I don't like. No, I mean, okay, we're gonna have an onside kick now. Everybody, come back here.
I agree with that part. The onside kick part's ridiculous.
Okay.
There's got to be some element of surprise.
Isn't that the whole point of an onside kick? I mean, unless it's at the very end of the game, right? Is to catch them off guard.
Well, most of the onside kicks are at the very end of the game, though.
I got you. I still don't like the.
Well, if you think about it, if you want to change it and make it like a 4th and 15 or 4th and 20 play, that obviously is raising your hand going high with like the lineup. So that, it looks as if the surprise part someday, Mark, is going to leave the onside kick.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But I don't like players lining up 20 yards ahead of the kicker and standing there waiting for the ball to go over their head. Hey, all right, the ball touched. We can all run now. It sounds like this is a game that you and I were struggling to figure out how to do kickoffs in our neighborhood football game and said, here, I've got an idea. This has Vic's Vacant Lot, for those of you old enough to remember, on ESPN written all over it.
I do like the no fair catch idea. That if we're going to have a kick call, I mean, you can kick it through the end zone, you can have a touchback, but if it's in play, I kind of like, hey, no, you got to return this sucker. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So if I set the over-under at a half buzzer beater game winner today, would you take the over?
No.
I don't think I would either, but I hope I'm wrong.
Gonzo, did you go to the game yesterday? If so, that's very cool. Good for you.
Wow. Apparently it's an intimate, it was like 15,000 is what I saw attendance was. This is an intimate ballpark. How expensive, Gonzo? Wow. That's awesome. So Tuesday for what? Batting practice, that sort of deal? That's awesome, Gonzo. Wow.
Okay.
Cool. $1,000 for top level. How about that? Hmm.
And you can go to a Marlins game for $52 and get all you can eat.
Ah, you stole my thunder.
Man, I love these computers in here. Just love them.
One day you'll be in a real studio again.
Hmm.
Probably not when you're working for Miller and Moulton. Yeah, I don't understand why you black out the game if it's sold out. How does that help? It's not on like Korean national TV, to be honest. I thought it would be. That makes no sense. If you're MLB.
Whew, quick first hour. Shot out of a cannon this morning.
Oh, he's back.
Little
he's
raft
not-
came out of there. Did you hear that gravel?
Here we go.
the win.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this very special day. It's kind of like an episode of Blossom on Tuesday nights on NBC back in the day. One of the great sports days of the year. The beginning of the NCAA tournament. In fact, opening days. Focus of our poll question today. Over the next few Thursdays, we have 3 openers. Today, the beginning of the NCAA tournament. You know, the full field, not the warm bread that's Dayton. That's on the table when you get there. All right. A week from today, opening day of the Major League Baseball season in the States. All 30 teams in action. We know the Dodgers and Padres are playing in Korea right now. Don't know what to tell you. That doesn't count. I mean, if you're coming back and you're playing more spring training games, okay, when spring training officially ends, the next game, that's opening day. And 3 weeks today, the Masters. So there you go. Which is it for you?
Rank them, David. I mean, for me, it's the tournament, the Masters, and baseball is a distant third.
Yeah, for me, the tournament has overtaken Major League Baseball. I would say for the first half of my life, Major League Baseball opening day was number 1 of the 3. The Masters is third, to be honest, of the opening days, to be honest.
Well, I wouldn't want you to lie to me. I mean, you haven't done it really.
Right.
You've been on this for a while.
Just trying to give the impression that, no, it's cool. It's fun. Hey, the golf course again. Hey, look at that. It's green. Hey, we got the fake bird sounds. How about that? All right, but it's okay. I mean, the weekend is, like I enjoy the beginning of March Madness more than the middle, even.
Yeah, these 4 days are the best 4 days to me.
So the madness has overtaken Major League Baseball for me.
All three of these choices, by the way, though, they all kind of have their own cult following where people will. There are people in each camp that will die on the hill for that event, which I think is awesome.
I mean, we talk about today's play hooky day in the afternoon. You only go in, get a really good half day of work in, and then figure out a way to take a little bit later lunch and then just not get back to the office. Oh man, my kid called. I got to go to school. Okay, yeah, fever. Okay, you got to go pick him up. I mean, whatever excuse you got to come up with. Okay, today's the day to do it.
Did you know that today is the #1 day for men's procedures? If you know what I'm talking about, like the because you get you get work off for free if you get. This is a real thing. I'm telling you, men in their 30s.
Men's procedures.
Well, I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but it's a thing. It's a real thing. I read all about it last year. I was fascinated. Look it up.
Where did you read it? Men's Journal? I mean, no.
He reads the articles, apparently.
Apparently, right. And by the way, you said men in their 30s.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Usually men have to get a little older than that to start having, as you would put it,
procedures.
Okay. I'm basing it off a couple people I know. That's all.
I'm very curious what procedure this is. Is this National Vasectomy Day?
That's what it is, yeah.
Oh, you can say that.
Okay, I just didn't know. I'm not used to, the FCC and that sort of thing. I don't want to get Miller and Moulton in any hot water here on the best day of the year.
Listen, if
you start talking about cutting them off and saying what it is, that can get you in trouble.
Okay,
Right.
yes, it's Vasectomy Day.
So today's National Vasectomy Day?
I did not know any of this until last year, and I read all about it, and it was fascinating.
By the way, here's a quick rule of thumb, and this might not be foolproof, but if the word is on a billboard driving up and down I-75, I think you can say it on the air.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to bring that up because David's talking about Play Hooky Day, and it actually turns out there's statistical research to back up that it's also the most popular vasectomy day.
I mean, I have to admit, going north on I-75, I used to love it. That guy, he would do the series of billboards right around where you got the Charlotte County, and just, for about a 3-mile stretch, he would do like 5 billboards in a row. And I'd notice the first one and I go, must be in Charlotte County. So, okay. Well, this, hell, Mark, maybe we should have included it in the poll question.
So apparently, what event do you like more? Opening day of baseball, first day of the NCAA tournament, round 1 of the Masters, or Vasectomy Day?
Right.
For the record, first day of the tournament, getting over half the vote right now. Round 1 of the Masters in second. Baseball right where it should be, bringing up the rear.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. You know what? And when your Tigers are contending past Labor Day this year, all right, you're going to change your tune.
David, I am more than likely going to buy the MLB package this year.
See?
So it's not that I'm anti-baseball, but in these 3 events, it's to me a distant third, and the voters currently agree with me. That's all.
And to me, it's a solid second. The tournament has overtaken it in my life. First half of my life, opening day baseball, I was just jacked. Just jacked.
You used to go to a sports bar to watch opening day. When's the last time you've done that?
Recently.
Last 5 years?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm into it. Plus also my team's going to win opening day. I'm a Mets fan. So one day a year, Mark, I know we're going to win. Doesn't matter who's pitching. Tom Seaver, Tyler McGill. Doesn't matter. We win. It's strange. For a franchise that's below 500, their winning percentage on opening day is stunning. especially since they lost their first 8, I think. Hey, did you see the Marlins promotion that they unveiled yesterday?
I did.
Did they confer with you and you just didn't tell me? Because this sounds like an idea Miller and Moulton would have come up with.
We have come up with it.
Right. The Marlins, in case you missed it, are selling all-you-can-eat seats starting at $52.
Non-alcoholic beverages, so it doesn't include booze. You get water, cookies, peanuts, popcorn, hot dogs, chili nachos, cheeseburgers, nachos with cheese, and non-alcoholic beverages.
So think about it. You get every beverage that's not alcohol. You get the little stuff, cookies, peanuts, popcorn. And then hot dogs, chili dogs, nachos, cheeseburgers. Through the 7th inning.
4 items per trip.
Right.
That to me is key.
Well, you got to make many trips.
No. I mean, 4 items. You can't get much more in your hands than that. That's
right.
That's 2 dogs and a soda and a peanut.
Well, I mean, first off, if you're going to waste your $52 on peanuts, that's on you. Okay.
Wait, whoa. It's a ball game.
Well, okay. Maybe the very first. And by the way, how early can I get here? When does this start? That's what I want to know. I know when it ends, which is through the 7th inning. When does it start? Does it start as soon as the gates open? Because if that's the case, I got 4 hours. I got at least 3.5. I got 90 minutes before first pitch, and through the 7th inning, that's 2 hours. 3.5 hours for $52. Do you know how many chili dogs I can eat in 3.5 hours? Trent, what do you think the over-under is on how many chili dogs I'd eat in 3.5 hours?
6.5.
I was going 7.5.
What?
What, you think it's more or less?
More. I'd put my over-under at 16.5.
I have video of David taking down over 10 hot dogs in 2 minutes.
And that's after I had just had lunch. I literally had 2 double cheeseburgers and an order of fries.
I guess the key is the chili dog. I thought there would be, there's a little bit more to it. So
right.
I lowballed it a little bit.
I don't think I could do more than 4 dogs anymore. So I don't know if this is for me.
I want to buy season tickets for the all-you-can-eat seats.
And, David, along with that, we can get you season tickets in the Clippers exclusive little lower bowl club.
It's not all you can eat. He's not interested.
I'm just all the season ticket gimmicks. We want David doing all of it.
$52. Listen, in college, we ruined a promotion that a local hotel had. Okay, they had a little happy hour thing weekdays 5 to 7. And us college students literally ended it because in a month we went and crushed it every night. And they couldn't do a thing. We played by their rules. And we just ate them out of house and home. And they've got rid of it after a month. I mean, come on. If 5,000 Moultons show up for this thing, how long does this sucker last? Mark, okay. Honestly, 6.5. Trent, obviously, you don't know me very well. Mark, what do you think? Remember, I paid the money. I'm there for batting practice, or I'm there an hour before the game. I got 3 hours.
Dog and inning, 2 in pregame. I think you do 9, 10 dogs.
Easy.
It really just depends on whether or not you went dogs and cheeseburgers.
Well, I mean, I'd want to mix it up a little bit.
What you're saying is you're not interested in any of the cookies, peanuts, or popcorn. You're just going with the big eggs.
No. We're eating hot dogs, cheeseburgers. Maybe home half of the 7th inning, I'll use the nachos and cheese as dessert.
By the way, yesterday I went to the Tigers spring training game. Only thing I got was a bag of peanuts.
If you had paid $52 for all you can eat, what would you have eaten?
Well,
Trent would never get the.
I wouldn't do the promotion.
You've seen him.
Yeah.
I eat more than he weighs.
I know, and I will at this game eat more than Trent weighs.
So I'm not the guy to ask for this type of thing. I do
Right.
think it's a heck of a bargain the way you guys are laying it out.
Well, for me, it would be. I mean, they'd lose money on me.
Oh, there's no doubt. And so much so that I want to go to a Marlins game with you this year just to do the all you
I
can eat.
mean, remember, included in the $52 is the seat, is getting into the game. Now, if they threw parking in, honestly, I'd quit the job and I'd move. I'd spend the rest of my days, okay, being a Marlins season ticket holder. Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, David, also, you can bring in any instrument you want along with your all-you-can-eat.
But no garbage cans, right?
No pots and pans, but every instrument known to man is welcome.
Don't know if I want to be blowing the French horn after about 16 chili dogs.
I don't know if you have a choice.
Oh, my God.
Although I might be blowing the French horn, if you know what I mean.
I'm starving. This food talk's killing me.
Tell you what, when you do the all-you-can-eat thing, you better do that alone. Might need to be in that car alone driving home.
Right. Nachos and chili dogs. Oh, my
Yep.
gosh.
If I had 2 chili dogs, I'd fall asleep at the wheel.
OK Music is wondering, Mark, where's the best place for a chili dog in Southwest Florida?
Michigan, Coney Island. Or Motor City,
Motor
Coney's.
City.
Where is that?
US 41. It's the old Island Park. It's the old Pizza Hut building. $2.99 on Tuesdays.
Motor City. You know, that definitely does. Now that you say that, I can absolutely see how that was a Pizza Hut at one time. Like the inside of it, I can I can tell.
You know what we probably should have done and or do in the future? We should probably enter a contest with a consensus bracket where the three of us pick every game. And obviously we don't have to agree, but if two guys pick a certain team and one guy picks the other, we go with the two.
Well, we could just do that for the whole bonus hour.
Well, I think we should all, just quickly give our picks.
Yeah.
Well, no, we could do that in the bonus hour. You're right. By the way, Semesco tomorrow.
Awesome.
In the
I'm
bonus
fired
hour.
up for that. I've got them winning 3 games in the tournament.
You're crazy.
I
And
know.
I mean, bat blank crazy.
I know, but the
They
women's
have a-
bracket I like to have fun with because I don't know anything about it.
Indiana as a 4 is kind of like Auburn as a 4. I mean,
Okay.
Indiana is really good. Plus, it's on their home court. I mean,
Yeah. The women don't do the sites. I got LSU, by the way. Kim Mulkey. Good looking. Not bad looking, Kim Mulkey.
God, she's annoying.
See, Trent's young. He can tolerate that.
I can't.
Right.
She drives me nuts.
She can do and say anything. I'm seeing stars when I look at Kim Mulkey.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at Trent.
Girl from Appleton, Wisconsin better wear some bling.
I was going to say, it's a crazier the outfit, the better.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Shane McNichol. As we get on the Shane train in a little more than 15 minutes to talk the madness. We'll talk some NFL, top of the hour. Chad Forbes. We're going to try to do, it's the draft's 5 weeks today. So we're going to try to just, on a steady basis, dive into the draft. Why are you smiling?
Because you introduced our guests coming up, and Shane McNichol there on the Shane train. You are so jealous of his Twitter handle. Anytime someone has a creative Twitter handle, David Moulton, for whatever reason, thinks the key to a then Twitter handle, now an X handle, is creativity.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, the David Moulton isn't good enough.
No. And when I was forced to go on then Twitter, and I did not have any creativity during that moment in time because, think about it, Moulton, lava. I could have
right.
tried.
And how would they find you?
Well, but in theory, Lava Man, something like that.
You can't give yourself your own nickname.
Well, why not?
It doesn't work that way.
Well, but the problem was then also, I think our then producer, John Cassio, gave me my now X handle. You're that Mark Miller. I'm the David Moulton. Well, first off, that bothered me because I hate when Ohio State goes, the Ohio State. Oh, stop it. No offense. You don't win enough national championships to be the Ohio State University. All right. Great school. Okay. But enough with the V.
So
okay.
You could have done the David Moulton had you already won the Emmy. Now it works.
Maybe now with 2 Emmys, okay. But even still, it's obnoxious. It's pretentious. People say, what's your, Twitter handle? And I literally sheepishly go.
Who says that? How many times in your life have you, what's your Twitter handle?
Well, no.
When has that been asked of you?
It was just asked of me the other day, actually. I was in a meeting because, Mark, once again, what don't I carry with me? Business cards.
Yeah, I know. They're in my desk.
Exactly. You have all of my business cards. Exactly.
And made for you. They're really nice.
I know. And I like our logo.
They have an email address on them that you don't use either, that you insisted that we get email addresses. I get the email addresses. David couldn't find it.
No.
With a subpoena.
I may have gotten an email saying I've won millions of dollars. I can't claim it. Why? I can't, log on to my own email. No. So anyway, I wish I had that one over again. the David Moulton. Whatever. That's
Our poll
obnoxious.
question on Twitter. Head on over and vote at that Mark Miller and at Lava Man.
Yeah, something like that. So that's why, yes, Shane McNichol. What's his X handle? On the Shane train. Love it. I do. I love it. So you're right. You got me. I'm jealous. I am. So we, by the way, will make our picks during next hour. About an hour from now, actually, we'll start making our picks. And then what we're going to do for those in the 239, our Diamond District bonus hour. By the way, Carl Semesco on the show in the bonus hour tomorrow. They're flying to Bloomington, Indiana today, getting ready for their 5-12 matchup with Oklahoma Saturday afternoon. We'll have them on tomorrow morning. We'll do a consensus bracket in our bonus hour today. So, all three of us, we vote on a game, and it's okay if we don't agree. We'll just go with the majority for every game.
Which is good luck for you guys, or a good thing for you guys, because I probably have some ridiculous picks.
Oh, no. This is going to be the most painful hour of my life.
No, it won't, because this is
going to be.
No.
You can see it now.
No. This is
Arizona, Long Beach State. I'm going to say Arizona. You two are going to be Long Beach State.
No.
Give me the 15.
No. This is the most chalk bracket I've ever filled out in my life.
Although,
Mark.
3 years in a row, a 15 has beaten a 2. And not only that, they've gone to the Sweet 16. 3 tournaments in a row.
I know. What are the odds it'll be 4? Considering up until 3 years ago, you know how many 15s had won a game? Like 9 total. So
Dunk City.
Yeah, when they did it, they were like the 7th or 8th 15 to even win a game 11 years ago. 11 years, by the way. Calendar matches up perfectly.
I almost took a double-digit seed to get to the Sweet 16.
And that is bold for Mark Miller. That is bold.
I sat there and looked at Drake and Iowa State for a minute and said, do I take Drake beating Iowa State? Would be huge for Drake.
And we've been on the Drake train for a while. In fact, I thought Drake could easily go to the Sweet 16, but boy, Iowa State's a bad draw.
They really are. And the coach's kid's a nice player, but they are going to smother him defensively. And I don't think he's good enough on his own to create shots.
That's going to be a rock fight, by the way. That game won't get to 110. That'll be a tough watch.
There's a lot of that in this tournament.
Could be. So anyway, so Shane McNichol coming up in 10 minutes. We're riding the Shane train. Then we'll do a little NFL draft so you can all get your fix. This talking other sports besides football. We know how that drives you crazy. But then we are going to fill out some brackets. Tough. Deal with it.
But right now, it's time for our Molly Maid Play of the Day, brought to you by Molly Maid. Give your spouse the gift of a clean house. Trent, what do you have for us?
First tournament appearance, first tournament win for the Grambling State Tigers last night, taking on Montana State in Dayton in the first 4. Not great for us, because we obviously were on Montana State with our picks, but nonetheless, game goes to overtime, and here was a big putback that kind of sealed the deal.
Moulton against one of the premier defenders in the country. Off balance. Missed on a stick back.
The big fella in overtime puts the Tigers up 4 with under a minute. And they'll keep on dancing. They will take on Purdue for a chance to maybe hand them a second straight loss to a 16.
Stop it with Seth Davis over there. Game ends. I'm telling you, they're really going to give him a game. Jay Wright looked at him and basically said, shut up.
They're going to get run off the floor by Purdue.
They are.
What? That game is tomorrow at 7:25 for those who want to watch the waxing take place live.
Look at him channeling his inner Bill Raftery. Man, is he feeling it.
239-774-5839. That's the number for Molly Maid. Let me give it to you again. 239-774-5839. Call Molly Maid today. Set up your appointment to get your house cleaned the right way by the good folks at Molly Maid. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
By the way, Drake a 10 seed. That's why Mark meant that I nearly took a double-digit seed to go to the Sweet 16. He has Drake winning the 7-10 first-round game, and then debated long and hard whether to beat Iowa State. Put it this way, I'll give you the other 3 twos. Would you have taken Drake? Arizona?
No.
Tennessee?
Yes.
Marquette?
Yes.
Okay, so they got the bad draw for you, is what you're saying.
Iowa State
could have been a
has
1 seed.
smothering defense, and Drake's, to me, not athletic. Their best player is not athletic enough to get open in that game. I think Drake can beat Washington State. That's going to be a tough game in and of itself.
Mhm.
So Washington State's a good team.
They are.
They may not get past that game, but if they do, I don't see them getting past Iowa State.
And because of a lot of the chaos that happened with the bracket and a lot of people's dissatisfaction with the bracket, it kind of got buried. But Iowa State definitely could have been a 1. And the fact that they got put in the region with the top 1 seed, right?
Yeah, the
I mean,
fact they're in UConn's region as a 2 is a joke.
Exactly.
Well, and I mean, I think Kentucky's the best 3, but I think Illinois is right there. And Auburn's the 4 that everybody's most impressed with. I mean, that is for Connecticut, it's a really difficult bracket.
Here's where the committee not counting the conference tournaments, and they don't. They'll they count it for NC State. If you win it, we got to put you in.
Dang.
But clearly, they didn't reward Iowa State for winning the Big 12 tournament, and they kept them behind Arizona and Tennessee. And they shouldn't have. I think the committee also, Marquette's the worst 2, but they didn't want to put 2 teams from the same conference, 1 and 2. Shane McNichol on the Shane train next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Did you fill it out, Mark?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Same as what it was before. By the way, I don't know if you're going to New York, because you're more than welcome to come over and watch the first rounds of games. I got soccer at 6.
Okay.
So we can do the first set of...
Okay. I didn't have any plans, but we got Sparty at 12:15.
Yeah. Would love to watch it with you.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to try to hit a power nap for an hour. We'll see.
Are you?
I don't even know if I'll be able to fall asleep.
That's the hard part.
I'm loaded up on caffeine right
now. I
now.
fell asleep. We went to dinner early for this oyster place because they got their little oyster happy hour from 4 to 6. So we did the Edison Ford Estates and then showed up for an early dinner and knocked down 4 dozen oysters. and I had 3 beers and went home, laid down. I'm like, I am shutting it down. Woke up at 6:40 and watched Grambling and Montana State. I was like, this is perfect.
That sounds great. Last night I made my roommates fill out brackets. They don't know anything about it. They don't care at all, but I had them. They're locked in now. They downloaded the app. We got multiple TVs set up.
You're living with guys who didn't know anything about the brackets?
Yeah, they're just not sports people.
Oh my God.
Look, I know. Trust me, to me, I was like, I can't believe I'm even able to have a conversation with a human being like you guys did.
Robert, isn't Robert in our Twitch chat's asking the longest winless streak of a school getting into the tournament? Isn't it Nebraska? Aren't they 0-9?
They're 0-9, yes.
Well,
but,
Boise's 0-10, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. But they're not Power 5 technically, so.
Well, but it doesn't matter. Any team. But I'm curious if it's one of those small schools. Like
I was going to say
Southern or somebody like that.
It's got to be like a school that gets in as a 16. Like, I don't know.
And gets in often and
loses
every year, right?
Well,
but in terms of schools people know, it's definitely Boise.
Isn't that, I mean, how many tournament games has the SWAC won?
I don't think any.
I mean, Grambling getting a win last night.
Right. Hey, Twitch chat. At one point, there was one of you that worked for a carpet cleaning company. Is there still one of you in there that does?
Oh, I got a guy, if you don't get anybody.
Okay. Was there a Stanley Steamer guy that used to be a fan?
Totally, yeah. Big Blade season ticket holder. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can work out a nice barter deal. I might trade this whole show. He'd never know.
No. How about 9-6 Padres Dodgers through 3? That's fantastic.
Game is going to take forever. This game might not be over by the time we're done with the show.
Look at that. Hour and a half to play 3 innings.
How's your pitch clock now?
Mm-hmm. The over-under was 8.5 for the game. The Padres have that themselves.
Shane is on. By the way, David, you'll appreciate this. So my brother Brock, he names his brackets Brocketology. Like when he joins the joins the group.
Love it. Hell, we could have him on the show.
He likes this stuff more than I do, which is hard to believe.
That's your older brother?
Yeah. And he is really the reason that I'm so into it. Because growing up, your big brother, you just want to follow him around, do everything. He gets so into this.
And he's going to Phoenix?
He is. He booked the tickets thinking State would get there, but okay. Shane's on. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. He's Shane McNichol, covers college basketball and golf for the Action Network and PalestraBack.com, PalestraBack.com. Follow Shane on one of the 10 best X handles of all time, on the Shane Train. On the Shane Train. Shane, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
Of course. Best weekend of the year, guys. Happy to be here.
Well, I'll tell you what, then answer our poll question. Okay, where the whole theme about opening days, NCAA tournament, Major League Baseball, the Masters. What's your favorite opening day?
I mean, I'm a basketball guy, and March Madness is everything for me, so I have to go with that. I do love the Masters, but I do think Sunday at the Masters has a lot more juice than Thursday, whereas today is really the biggest and best day of March Madness.
With you there, the tournament reigns supreme to all of us on this show as far as how the poll question's going, and that's why it's winning. All right, the first four, the big boys, the 16 games were pretty exciting. A little bit of rock fights in the other games. When you look at today, what game jumps off the table at you as the must-see game for Thursday?
Today, I actually think there's something fun to be seen in that Creighton versus Akron game. I think John Gross is a really great tournament coach. His last 6 games, the teams are undefeated against the spread, at least, in the NCAA tournament. And that Creighton team plays a really fun brand of basketball that's really predicated on three-point shots, getting jump shooters out in motion and really creating things offensively. But relying on the jump shot leaves them vulnerable. If they have a cold day, that leaves potential for an upset. And I think John Gross knows that, and he's going to turn that game into a rock fight as best he can. And his best player, Enrique Freeman, is the national leader in rebounds, and Creighton has Ryan Kalkbrenner in the middle. They're big rim protecting center. I think that battle is going to be really actually very interesting compared to a 3 versus 14 matchup. Some of the other ones that I think would catch your eye, I think, unfortunately, the last game of the day, that Drake versus Washington State game, could be one of the best ones in the first round. Nevada and Dayton, I mean, you can go down the list.
Well, 14s, 15s, and even 16s have had a lot more success here in recent years than they ever had before. I mean, 3 straight years of 15s, not only won, but have they also gone to the Sweet 16 in each of the last 3 years? So I'm just curious, you mentioned a 3-14 matchup there, Creighton-Akron. Is there another 14, 15, or even 16 that you go,
Yeah, Akron's the one that stands out a little bit. Colgate against Baylor could get interesting. Colgate's been in the tournament 4 years out of the last 4 years that there's been a tournament. And they've had their chances, and I think this is the worst of the 5 Colgate teams that has made it this far. So that certainly doesn't mean they can't win today, but I think that gives them a little tougher time. If you're looking at a 16, I think there's a crazy world where Longwood and Houston is kind of interesting for the first half. Houston plays slowly, and that's kind of been the problem with both Purdue and Virginia, who lost the 16 seeds. It kind of opens the door for a high variance game. The problem is Longwood, not a shooting team, and even worse, a team that turns the ball over, and Houston will smell blood and eventually just have force way too many turnovers going the other way. The last one I would point out is I personally think Kentucky is maybe the most talented team in this tournament. They're a team that I think can go very far in this tournament if they kind of get out of their own way. Tough to get out of your own way against a team like Oakland, super experienced coaching Greg Canty. They play a zone, which is dangerous because Kentucky is the best three-point shooting team in this tournament and in the country. But if those three-pointers aren't falling and the zone is a little weird and those young Kentucky guards get a little confused, again, maybe we have a game. I'd be very surprised, but maybe there's a game there.
Shane, which number 1 seed is the most vulnerable to you?
I have my questions about North Carolina. I think they're a very good team. They are experienced. R.J. Davis and Armando Bacot are both fifth-year seniors. Cormac Ryan is a fifth-year senior. Harrison Ingram transferred over from Stanford as a veteran. The question for me is that last piece. Elliot Cadeau is a freshman point guard. He's not a shooter. He's a creator off the dribble. I worry a little bit if the team forces him to be the person that tries to beat them. If they make him into a shooter and a scorer and kind of don't help off anybody else, maybe there's a path there. I mean, Hubert Davis, an experienced coach in that he's been to a Final Four already, but only 2 or 3 years on the job here. I would think of the 4, they would be the one I would have the most question marks about.
He's Shane McNichol. Covers college basketball and golf for the Action Network and PalestraBack.com. PalestraBack.com. Follow Shane on X on the Shane Train. Well, obviously, there's filling out the brackets and then there's betting on this sucker. And you do both and you cover both angles of it. Do you have, I don't know if it's a theory, but do you have tried and true rules from a betting standpoint on the tournament?
Yes and no. I think it's certainly a lot of games this week. There's 48 games this weekend. There are people out there who will put a bet on all 48 of them. For me, it's kind of keeping the same process as I would with a regular season game, keeping an eye on where that line should be compared to where it ends up. But then beyond that, I think a little bit with these games of, a team is underseeded or overseeded, or, I think that's going to be an upset, so I better bet on it. But that's not necessarily the same calculus as filling out your bracket and thinking, this 12 seed's going to beat this 5. I'll put it in my bracket. There's nothing to lose there. If you're going to actually put the money on it, I think you got to do that extra layer of research and make sure it's a sound bet. And I think the last thing is keeping in mind that these are all neutral site games all across the country, keeping an eye on which teams are traveling, where they're coming from. All of that stuff is much more of a layer than, Michigan playing Michigan State in January. I think people forget that, especially when we now talk about Saturday and Sunday, keeping an eye on which coaches are really good at that turnaround game, which teams are fresh and have the legs and all the things that go into that.
All right. Looking at today, one of the games that David and I both really liked is the BYU Duquesne game. Duquesne, we think, is way, overseeded. They winning the A-10. They couldn't score in that game. We like BYU. The number's risen a lot. What are your thoughts on BYU and Duquesne?
Yeah, that was the first game that jumped off the board to me. It was the first one I bet on Sunday night. BYU is actually underseeded because of their religious affiliation. They will not play on a Sunday. They're the only school that the bracket has to deal with that. So they actually were seeded as a 5 seed and settled for a 6 because of that, because all the 5 seeds were playing in Friday, Sunday venues. So they had to be sent to a Thursday, Saturday, which meant they had to jump down all the way to a 6 seed. Then they get matched up against this Duquesne team, who, like you said, in that A-10 championship, could not score, was not doing much, and was kind of gifted an 11 seed. I don't even think this is a conspiracy theory. I think the bracket was completely done on Sunday afternoon, and they just put A-10 champion as that 11 seed, hoping VCU won. And when Duquesne won, they just slapped them in there, because there are certainly plenty of 12 seeds that not only are better teams than Duquesne, but had better resumes. I think you could have made a pretty good case Duquesne should have been a 13. Like I said, that's not necessarily a reason, a 5 seed could lose to a 13 or 14 seed. That's not necessarily a reason to say that BYU is going to run away with it. But I think when you look at the matchup especially, Duquesne's going to try to make it into a rock fight, and BYU, more than half of their shots come from 3. I just think that's going to be too much volume. Even if they shoot 25%, that might be 10 threes the way they put it up.
Yeah, we thought that this is a 4-13 game by seeding, quite frankly, and instead it's a 6-11. What does concern us is the fact that it opened at 7.5. We're with you. We jumped on it at 7.5, but now, has it reached double figures?
No,
okay, it's still 9.5. So we're just a little concerned that, everybody else has jumped on it as well. Well, last year we had a 4, 2 5s, and a 9. I mean, I know that's nuts, but you got someone that's, I don't know, 4 seed or higher that you're willing to take a flyer on?
Yeah, I think, as a child, I kind of fell in love with the Gonzaga Cinderella runs. They're getting a lot of heat for that matchup with McNichol. I don't necessarily see that. I'm not going to say they can't lose that game, but I think once they get beyond that game, you're talking about the winner of Kansas and Stanford, who Kansas is injured, their leading scorer's out. Stanford plays this kind of crazy, they call it buckyball, high-pressure offense, or high-pressure defense. I'm not necessarily as worried about that game either. Then you're talking about Gonzaga and Purdue. If there's any team in the country that has the size to kind of bang around with Zach Edey, it might be Gonzaga. They have, 4 6'10" plus guys that play regularly in the rotation. Now you're looking at the Elite Eight. So, as I would say with any team seeded 4 or higher, they could lose today or tomorrow, or there's a run possible. But that Gonzaga team, Mark Hughes made 8 straight Sweet 16s for a reason. I'm not certainly going to bet against them in this weekend, and I'll wait to see until they have a little bit of a tougher competition.
What do you think about the Gators? Because Marquette's the best player has been hurt. I know he's supposed to come back to the tournament, how healthy he is. Florida lost one of their big men in the SEC championship. The Gators match up with Colorado and then beyond for the Florida Gators.
Yeah, that Colorado team is so hard to nail down. Just so much talent from all kinds of, from the transfer portal, from freshmen, and just injuries, and just they don't necessarily gel, but they found a way to win they found a way to win last night. And teams that have won in the first four have been very successful then going to their next site and winning that next game. I still think Florida, the way that they play, that up-tempo, high-scoring, I think that's going to give them a real chance to put Colorado away pretty quickly. Marquette is a tough one because all of those games that they played without Tyler Kolek have been confusing. Like, that offense just doesn't look right without him. He reminds me so much of Steve Nash, the way he operates. So much usage, everything they run, whether he has the ball or he's a decoy, so much of it runs through him that even when they were winning games in the Big East tournament, they're kind of sneaking by, looking ugly, finding ways. If he's back and healthy, it's a really good team. I would think that they would be favored and likely to beat Florida, but I just don't trust it because I haven't seen it yet.
All right, we had a poll question earlier in the week. We can give you UConn, Houston, Purdue, or the field. Who would you take?
Of those, either Houston or Purdue. UConn is the best team in this tournament. I have no doubt about it. Like, filling out a bracket, I immediately put them right into the national championship as champions. But then the week kind of stares at you, and it's just, there's a reason nobody's done this since Florida in the early aughts. Like, to win 6 single elimination games in a row, to get all of those whistles, foul trouble, nobody sprains an ankle, rolls, God knows what other injuries. It just seems unlikely. There's a reason it doesn't happen. And so I would tell you, UConn is the best team in this tournament. There's a reason they are the top overall seed. They're talented. Danny Hurley can coach, on and on and on. It sounds crazy. I just don't know that they'll get that. Someone will get them. That's how March works. That's why we love it. Houston, I kind of talked about a little bit, mentioning them as Longwood giving them a little bit of a scare. The fact that they play slowly scares me. I think they play chaotically, which helps in that case. I mean, they're top 3 in the country in 14 turnovers, blocking shots, and creating steals, and offensive rebounds. Just on a game-to-game basis, they're going to take about 10 to 15 more shots than you. Doesn't mean you can't make more of your shots and beat them, but that level of volume over a larger sample size is going to work out. So I think Houston's pretty scary. And then Purdue, I mean, the last number 1 seed to lose to a 16 came back and won the national title last year. They did it by the hair on their chins, but they needed some buzzer beaters and some craziness. I think the big thing for Purdue is Braden Smith, the point guard, hyperextended his knee in the Big Ten tournament. Is he 100%? And if not, is Purdue going to be liable like they were against Fairleigh Dickinson? Not necessarily against Grambling, but as this tournament goes on, are they going to be liable to pressure that prevents them from standing up and getting the ball into that team?
Shane McNichol, Action Network, PalestraBack.com. Follow him on X at On the Shane Train. On the Shane Train. Shane, thanks for getting up for us. We appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy it.
And you too as well. Shane McNichol, the madness. It gets underway in a little more than 4 hours with Michigan State and Mississippi State.
Not big on the Gators at all, for what it's worth. Not big, not picking UConn to win the whole thing, even though he said he wrote them down in the finals to win it, but then thinks it's too difficult to repeat.
I do think they got a very tough bracket. I mean, to think that they're going to have to play Auburn potentially and Iowa State. I mean, if you're into the metrics, I mean, those are 2 top 6 teams in the country that UConn's got to go through.
I like what he said about there's a reason it just doesn't happen. There's a reason there's no back-to-back champions.
Miller and Moulton. Who's your Final Four? We'll get to ours coming up in a little while. Talking NFL draft next. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Are we still going to talk NFL?
No.
More madness?
Uh-huh.
I love it.
We'll start somewhere else, though. I want to bring up the Otani thing again. And I want to bring up the kickoff thing again.
Oh, today was the day of the No Fun League. They passed the anti-celebrating rule today in 1984.
Unreal. Ambient. So that's a 12 and a 7 and a 1 and a 2.
Hey, if that's the Final Four, you're not going to hear any complaints from me. That'd be awesome.
You would from CBS.
You certainly would from CBS.
Irish football. Are you serious? a 4, an 11, a 2, and an 8. Wow. Five, a 1, a 3, and a 1. It's interesting, Brute, you say St. Mary's. I have St. Mary's going on a run.
Me too. And running home after they lose to Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I have 3 12s winning.
I have 2.
And the one I'm most unsure about is McNichol.
You have to pick 2 winners today? That's it? Just 2 teams to win today? It's interesting. 2 3s, a 4, and a 1. I think Purdue got a good draw.
I agree.
Although I will say if Gonzaga can get by McNeese State, you're right. They probably do have the size for ED.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour, at least along the network of Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. The Diamond District bonus hour is 1 hour away. We were going to talk NFL draft at this moment in time, but turns out our guest had something come up last minute. We'll reconnect with Chad Forbes at a later date and time. A couple of things want to get to. We talked about it much earlier in the show, but a whole new audience at this point of the show than when we first brought it up. Before we get to the madness, our picks, things we like, etc. So this Ohtani story, if you're unaware, I'll try to do Cliff Notes version. His interpreter got fired yesterday, and his interpreter had a gambling problem, lost $4.5 million minimum. And there's conflicting reports. ESPN was about to report yesterday that Ohtani knew about it, found out in the fall, October, November, and he paid off the debts, but said you can't gamble anymore, blah, blah, blah. Then Ohtani's people, when the interpreter was fired yesterday, changed their story to ESPN and said, no, he didn't know about it. He stole the money from Ohtani.
Except for ESPN, and the report does say that ESPN has reviewed bank information showing Ohtani's name on 2 $500,000 payments sent in September and October.
And that's the original, what ESPN was told by people close to Ohtani. October was when he found out and what have you. Let me ask you this. Let's just assume that Ohtani, and I don't know if it's Major League Baseball and the Dodgers, if they're involved in the cover-up also, but let's just assume that the truth will come out here quickly, and Ohtani didn't place any of the bets. No one is alleging, by the way, that any of the $4.5 million is from Ohtani gambling, because obviously we know what that means. Bye-bye. So let's just assume his interpreter had a major gambling problem. Ohtani's very tight with his interpreter, has a ton of money, and said, I'll pay it off. Don't do it again. Is that a problem if you're Major League Baseball?
If you're Major League Baseball, I don't think it's a problem. I really don't. I he paid off someone else's debt. How is that a problem to?
But
it's
a
gambling debt. No.
Well, yes, gambling on sports, and never mind. And we'll find out whether or not it was baseball involved at all. And so, but if there is a clear line, Mark, in which Ohtani does not gamble on sports, and remember that Ohtani plays baseball in California, you can't gamble on sports in California. It's illegal. One of only 10 states in the country where it's illegal. They had it on the ballot last year, voted it down again. So if you're Major League Baseball,
they're so thick with money there, they don't need any new revenue in that state.
Just
morons.
Sorry,
I
know. So back to Ohtani. If you're Major League Baseball, and it's just wow. His guy. I mean, that's his right-hand guy. They're close. Ohtani got married, and literally the Angels and Dodgers didn't know about it. I mean, Ohtani's pretty secretive, not very revealing. There haven't been a lot of big, stories on ESPN.com and The Athletic about Ohtani. He doesn't sit down and do major interviews. He got married, and people didn't know he had a girlfriend. So if it's just, hey, he's my guy, I paid off his gambling debts, okay, but you know what? Upon further review, can't trust him. He has to go. If you're Major League Baseball, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, what part of this story then would you have to find out in which if you're Major League Baseball, you go, oh, blank.
If the two were conferring on bets. If Ohtani was aware that he had been betting any bets after he paid him off, after he paid off the debts, then there's a problem.
So like if the guy continued to, you paid off my debt, great, now I can start anew?
Yeah.
Okay, but obviously none of the bets would be on baseball. Because, if the debts were paid off in the fall, there is no baseball in the late fall and winter. So, I mean, I'm just curious because there's not, in California, it's illegal, but in a lot of states in this country, I mean, leagues frown on their players betting on sports. But, I mean, from a legality standpoint, Ohtani can bet on, not because he plays in California, but let's just say Ohtani, went to Toronto, which he nearly did. If Ohtani was a Blue Jay and he was betting on the NFL, is that if you're the Major League Baseball, you have a problem with that? You ain't betting on baseball.
Would I have a problem with it if I was baseball? Yeah, I'd have a problem with it. Would I throw him out of my league for betting football? No. But you don't ever want to get to a situation where your players are in any way, shape, or form could be compromised because of the gambling laws.
Totally. That's what takes down leagues. The integrity of the game. Absolutely.
By the way, 10-8 Padres were in the bottom of the fifth. This game could last forever.
They had like a 9-1 lead in that game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yamamoto, he lasted an inning, 43 pitches, gave up 5 runs in his major league debut for the Dodgers. So, okay, so that's the Ohtani story. By the way, which story do you believe? That Ohtani knew and he paid off the debts?
Yes.
Okay, I do too.
I mean, the quotes are really damning. Obviously, he wasn't happy about it and said he would help me out to make sure I never did this again. That's what the interpreter said. He decided to pay it off for me. I want everyone to know that Shohei had no involvement in betting. I want people to know I did not know this was illegal. I learned my lesson the hard way. No, you didn't. You didn't learn any damn lesson. How did you learn a lesson? You lost $4.5 million and Daddy paid it off for you. How on God's green earth did you learn a lesson? Did Shohei say I'm disappointed in you?
Well, that could last a lifetime, Mark.
Son of a.
that could last.
Learned a lesson.
Lifetime.
I learned a lesson when I had to go to my buddy and called him up on the phone. I said, I need to see you. He goes, what? I said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I walked in the door. He goes, how much money do you need? I said, what? He goes, well, you obviously need money because you wouldn't tell me over the phone. And when I had to ask him for 5 large to pay off a gambling debt, I learned a lesson. You know why? Because I had to pay him back plus interest. That's called learning a lesson.
Well, he lost his job. I mean, of course, didn't lose it right away, but anyway. So just, just pay attention to this sucker. People are going to investigate the heck out of this. Also, is this guy going to go to trial? I mean, eventually the truth then comes out. So we'll see if Ohtani had anything to do with this besides paying off the gambling debts. The other story, which I think is interesting, and we'll get to our brackets beginning next segment. All right, NFL is going to reconsider. This would be a major change, by the way. I'm going to lay it out again. Has there been a sport that changed? This, to me, is more radical than when the NHL took out the red line, if you know what I mean. But the NFL Competition Committee is proposing a revamped kickoff rule. Kickoffs would still take place from the 35-yard line. No fair catches allowed. Touchbacks would go to the 35, not the 25. Here's how they do kickoffs. Only the kicker and the returner can move until the ball is either caught or it hits the ground.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. I can run.
While the kicker is kicking off from his own 35, the 10 guys trying to tackle the returner are lined up on the opposition's 40. They can't move, though, until the ball is caught or it hits the ground. At least 9 of the 11 on the return team have to be lined up between the 30 and 35-yard line. Obviously, what are they trying to do? Reduce the impact of collisions. There's only going to be a 5 to 10-yard difference between 19 or 20 players. That would be the new kickoff. Also, no more surprise onside kicks. You literally have to say, we want to try an onside kick here, and then they'd line up the old way that they do it, 35-yard line, 10 yards apart, blah, blah, blah. All right. So thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways.
I'm thumbs down.
I'm sideways. I love the fact they're trying to bring the kickoff return back. A. B, I love the no fair catch rule.
I'm with you on the no fair catch rule. I just, aesthetically, the look of it sounds really poor.
It's very minor league. To me, this is like the NHL 3-on-3 overtime. This is a mess. It looks ridiculous. I agree. But, I mean, if you think about it, it is a contradiction in terms. I want to bring the kickoff return back into the game. Well, you had just said it's the most dangerous play in the game. Well, now I have to go to great lengths to reduce the impact of collisions.
I think, they need to add to it that the kickers need to kick it with their opposite foot. Or they have to toe jam it. They have to go Tom Dempsey style and toe jam it.
The one thing I will say, though, is I think it would lead to – I think we'd have the two extremes if they go through with this. I think either guys would get tackled inside the 20 a lot, but Mark, in theory, I mean, you get past the 25-yard line, I think you're gone. Who the heck's going to be in position to catch you? If you manage to just get a crease and get out to the 25-yard line, who's going to tackle you?
I would think, David, I could be nuts, but this is where kickers are so good now that they'd be angling the kicks to one side or another. Mm-hmm. Half the guys would be rushing after the kicker. There would be guys running in a safe mode that wouldn't even be chasing down the field, if you know what I mean.
But remember, they can't move until the ball's caught.
I understand.
Right. I mean, what I think the kickers are going to try to do is they're going to try to kick it 7 yards deep in the end zone. I agree. There's two ways to go. I'll tell you what, would love to contact Westhoff. Okay, Mike, you kicking this high and short to the 7, or are you kicking it deep 7 yards into the end zone? Remember, no fair catches allowed. We go through our brackets next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I don't think you're allowed to do a squib kick anymore. I thought part of the rule was the ball has to get past the the line of tacklers at the opposition 40. So I guess you could do a hard line drive kick, but it's got to, I thought, go past the wall, if you will.
But David, if you kick it 7 yards deep in the end zone and I don't have to fair catch, it's touchback, right? In that 35-yard line? Kneel it? If I don't run it, I don't have to run it back if it's in the end zone. What special teams coach would let a guy run it out of the end zone?
Well, see, I took it as you can't fair catch it as
but a touchback is where?
To 30. But see, I took it as the only way you get a touchback is if you kick it through the end zone.
And a touchback to me is anything that goes past the end zone. Why would you even catch it? They don't catch them now when they're in the end zone. It's a touchback. As soon as it's ground in the end zone, it's a touchback. That's how they blow it now.
Well, I guess because it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to go through the end zone and then it's a touchback. Because in theory, I mean, you kick it deep, it's rolling around in the end zone, you can recover it for a touchdown.
They do not call it that way anymore.
I know. Used to.
Correct.
Mark, they think a punt return's more dangerous than a kickoff return. It is funny how emotionally attached people are to the surprise onside kick, which is done in the NFL maybe 6 times a year, maybe.
Yeah, but when it works, it's cool.
Oh, it's awesome. It's like a squeeze play in baseball.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. All right, it's that time. We've been talking about it all month. Whether we think it's going to be a great tournament, a good tournament, a so-so tournament, not a good tournament. You know, the people around the country didn't like last year's tournament, a 4, 2 5s, and a 9 in the Final Four. In Florida, we loved it. Miami and FAU were in the Final Four. Are you kidding me? That was fun. It was awesome.
Depends what kind of fan you are, right? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. If you don't care about the Blue Bloods, you don't want to see the best teams go at it, you like the upsets, you like the little guy, last year's tournament was for you.
Right. Take a look at the TV ratings.
My Elite Eight's a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 3, and a 1 and a 3.
Oh, look at you riding the 3s in this tournament. It's kind of like, so in other words, in your 2-3 matchups, you went with 3s.
I did.
Okay. Kind of like that 8-9 matchup. Who are we going with this year? I'm going to ride the 9s. Okay.
9 seeds, by the way, have a winning record against 8 seeds, 78 and 74 in the last 38 tournaments.
Not that it's a toss-up game or anything like that. 78 and 74.
I just think it's interesting. Like, even if the 8 swept this year, it would be even 500.
Listen, next hour, the bonus hour in the 239, we will do a consensus bracket. Okay, we'll all vote on every game, and you know, if we go 3-0, obviously we know who the pick is. But if it's 2-1, that's our pick. And then I don't know if we're going to enter that bracket into any sort of contest. And for the record, we asked this as a poll question earlier in the week. So how many brackets did you fill out, Mark?
I have my bracket's the same in every one. I filled out one bracket.
Okay. So that's okay. If you enter 17 contests, but you enter it with the same bracket, then you only filled out one. Trent, how many brackets?
1.
All right. Same here. Same here.
I hate my bracket. I don't even have a 5 seed making the Sweet 16.
Really?
It's pathetic how chalk this is.
Wow. I mean, I only have 1, but okay. I'm curious next hour when we do our consensus bracket, because you and I, one of the 5-12 upsets I have okay, you don't have, and the 1-5-12 upset that I know you love, I'm totally against. So Trent's going to be the tiebreaker in a few of these, I can tell. But all right, first 1 seed you have losing. Mark, go.
The first 1 seed I have losing is Houston. I have them losing to Duke.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I don't have another 1 seed losing until UConn beats North Carolina in a Final Four matchup.
So your Billis bracket is looking pretty good.
Yes, me and Jay are very similar in our brackets.
I have 2 1s going out in the Sweet 16. So I guess
You've got Auburn beating UConn, don't you?
I do.
So do I.
I do.
I already hate our consensus bracket then because I can't win.
I do. I'll say this. They didn't do any UConn favors with the region, but they are going to play the Sweet 16 and or the Elite 8 in Boston. And if you think UConn travels well to Madison Square Garden, wait to see how they travel to Boston. It'll be just as well. Those will be home games for UConn. They really will. I mean, I'll say this. For Alabama and Auburn, man, they got to go to Spokane for the first week, and then Auburn has to go try to beat UConn in Boston? Damn. Then the funny thing is they could get to a Final Four and, in theory, play Arizona in Phoenix.
No, I mean, you're right. When Auburn and Alabama have to go to Big Ten country, Spokane, Washington.
So I got 2 1s going out at the Sweet 16. Trent, let me guess. Purdue's your first one to lose.
Actually, no, UConn. I've got UConn losing to Auburn in the Sweet 16, and I've got Purdue making the Elite 8 and losing to Creighton.
Wow. I have the same Midwest region.
I have Purdue playing Creighton. I have Purdue beating Creighton. I have Purdue playing UConn for a national championship.
So here's what I'm curious about in that region. When do you guys have Tennessee losing?
I have Tennessee losing to Creighton in the Sweet 16.
I got them losing to Colorado State in the second round.
Thought about it.
Did you?
Thought about it.
Colorado State looked really good. I know everyone wanted to poke fun at Virginia because that's just what you do, and it was warranted. But some of that has to be, you got to give the Rams some credit.
No, you don't. No,
I do.
Virginia shot 25% from the floor.
Right, no. Who was our guest yesterday? That Mark Packer, who said that a rec team would have beaten Virginia.
Yes. Oh, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying.
So therefore, I don't know how much credit. If you, me, Mark, Felipe, and a couple other guys would have beaten Virginia, I don't know how much credit Colorado State should get. Everybody, the committee has a sense of humor. You know, they put Nebraska and A&M against one another. They've scheduled it where Rick Barnes, who was unceremoniously let go of Texas, in theory could face Texas in the second round in a 2-7 matchup now that he's at Tennessee. But a lot of us, I think Colorado State's going to beat Texas, and that matchup's not going to happen. We shall see. So, Mark, do you have a double-digit seed going to the Sweet 16?
No. No. David, I don't have a 5 seed going to the Sweet 16.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
So your Sweet 16 is made up of the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s?
Yeah.
Man, is this just you're trying to win your bracket and you're playing the percentages, or is this really how you feel?
It's really how I feel.
Wow.
I was close of taking Colorado State over Tennessee. I was close of taking McNechol State to beat Kansas.
I did both of those things, by the way.
Because Kansas is banged up right now, and that they're vulnerable. But I hedged my bet because McNeese first has to beat Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
I have both those things happening that you just laid out, by the way. I've got 2 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16, and they're both in the Midwest, Colorado State and McNeese.
All right. I do think the Midwest bracket is the bracket where the chaos happens.
Yes.
I do. The sub part of the bracket where I think the chaos happens is I think the 12 and 13s both win in the Midwest. I think McNichol beats the Zags, and I think Samford gets Kansas.
Talking about that game real quick. I mean, Samford, they love to press. They press the whole game, and you know how that goes. I mean, you kind of you get up early, you start pressing, Kansas starts panicking. Classic March. They're also 12th fastest in pace of play in D1. Samford is. And that's 6th of the teams that made the tournaments. They play fast, they press you, and Kansas is banged up.
And the question's asked of why are we also down on Tennessee? Because Rick Barnes is the coach.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Till proven otherwise, he has to do something in March for us to get behind him.
So
And David,
when in
you're
doubt,
right.
we're picking against Rick Barnes.
How funny would that be if he plays Texas in the second round?
Well, I mean, that's why they paired it together. I mean, the committee, come on. You really think that happened by happenstance?
No, I think there's a lot of things in here that are not by happenstance. But quick little fun thing. We got brothers facing off in that game, Tennessee and St. Peter's. Zakai Ziegler on Tennessee,
Yes.
Armani Ziegler, the freshman with the Peacocks.
By the way,
I picked Drake to beat Washington State. I know you probably did too, David. I almost picked Drake to win 2 games.
Well, I am one of those, and whether this is being stubborn or what have you, I am one of those in which 3, 4, however many weeks before the tournament, when I say so-and-so's well, then I fill out my bracket accordingly.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, Mark, you do have Marquette getting past Florida.
I do.
David?
No, I have Florida to the Sweet 16.
Okay, me too. I've got Florida to the Elite Eight, actually. I just realized.
Whoa!
Yeah, I got them beating Kentucky in the Sweet 16. Then losing to Houston. Houston's my only one in the Final Four.
I almost had Iowa State losing to Drake. See, this is where I don't have the guts to pick. That's where I try to have a good bracket.
It's also, I mean, that is the smart thing to do, because it's like what you do is the smart thing to do, because you can think that there's going to be a crazy upset, and there might be, but you just pick the wrong one, and then it throws everything off.
I've got a lot of upsets in the West early. I got Grand Canyon winning. I've got New Mexico winning. I got Nevada winning.
I'm with you on 2 of the 3. I have Nevada and New Mexico.
You got Sparty over Mississippi State, although that's not really an upset.
I do.
Charleston? Anyone have Charleston?
No. I watched them play their championship game, and I don't think they have the wrong matchup.
I didn't pick them either. I'm just curious.
To me, that's the wrong matchup. They're playing against a really fast, really athletic scoring team. I don't think
they're just a lesser version of that, basically.
Like, I might have picked them against Kansas. Like, I'm looking at the floors.
Right. Totally, David. Totally.
I might have picked Charleston against. I did the same thing, Mark. Charleston was one of those teams that I was going to pick to win a first-round game, and then I saw the matchup and went, holy blank. That's a tough draw.
David, do you have BYU to the Sweet 16 as well?
I do.
I have Illinois in the Elite 8.
Illinois. David, you joked that Purdue has burned me over the years. Illinois has scorched me over the years. I watch them every year, fairly up close. They're probably my second favorite team in the Big Ten.
Are they?
In basketball. I mean, football, I don't.
It's funny. I used to hate them because they were Sparty. They were a big rival for a while for Sparty.
In the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're one of the few Big Ten basketball programs that I don't have any hatred towards.
And now I got a bunch of friends who are Illinois grads, so I have a softer spot for them. Guys I play golf with, they're big Illini fans, so.
I loved their campus, too.
It was funny, the 3 Michigan games I was with, all played collegiate athletics, all root for Sparty, all root for Ohio State, unless they're playing Michigan. They are all Big Ten. My mouth was agape as they were telling me this. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel that way.
The Michigan guys were root for Ohio State?
They'd rather have they want Ohio State to be undefeated every year they play them until they play Michigan. There's a guy that played football at Michigan.
I know that. So dead struck there with 2 1s, a 2, and a 4. I have Iowa State in the Elite 8 for the gentleman who's high on Iowa State.
God, I love it. Tagging from first to second with no outs in the 7th. That's what I'm talking about.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. No one is wrong yet. You filled out your brackets. They're all perfect. They look good, don't they? You feel good. You're going to win this year. Yep. You're going to beat the boss's secretary this year. You are. You're going to beat your 9-year-old daughter who picked all the teams that have blue in their uniform. You're going to beat her this year. Yes, you are. Don't you kid yourself. My daughter won a Sweet 16 bracket one time just picking teams wearing blue. That was a tough one for me right there.
I don't know how you could ever do another bracket after that.
That was a tough one. I got to be honest. Right. Like, man, there's some of those picks. Well, yeah, I found out what their team colors were. I picked colors. I'm like, man, got to take you to the track.
Exactly. Exactly. Just bet area codes.
All right. So to review, you have 3 1s and a 3.
That's correct, David. Really went out on a limb this year. This tournament's going to be nuts. A 3 will make the Final Four.
And the 3 is
Kentucky.
Well, really really small program, right? That'll be good for them. Yeah.
And I have them beating Duke. Payback for the Leitner shot in the region final.
Right. And Tubby got revenge a few years later, but yeah, I hear you. I got you. All right. So who's there for what region is Kentucky in again?
The South.
So you have Houston is the only one that doesn't make the Final Four.
Right. They don't even make the Sweet 16.
Whoa, wait.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, they make the Sweet 16. They lose to Duke in the Sweet 16.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about taking A&M to beat them.
David, how far do you have Duke going?
I have Duke losing in the second round.
So do I. David and I have a very similar bracket, which means Mark is going
to Wisconsin?
Oh, no.
To James Madison.
Here we go. There we go. Now we're talking. I got 2 12s in the Sweet 16.
And the Dukes take down Duke.
James Madison and McNeese State. That's right. By the way, I got Samford over Kansas too.
I do like that because usually there's the one region in which a 12 plays a 13.
Right. And so I picked the Midwest. I picked that as my region for a little bit of chaos.
And I just have this strange feeling. I don't have Kansas or Marquette going far, but everybody's down on Marquette. Everybody's down on Kansas. When you take these really good programs and tell them how much they suck before the tournament, it's a nice way to get burnt.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. For the record, Samford, the 13, is, by the way, is it lowest seed or highest seed? I always, because the number is highest, but technically it's lowest, right?
I cop out as I say best worst.
Yeah, okay. So Samford as a 13, not the lowest seed that I have winning a game, for the record. I have Western Kentucky beating Marquette in the first round at a 2-15.
That is just...
Second time it happens to Shaka, because he was at Texas when they lost to Abilene.
I will say one of our listeners has been all over say, don't bet McNeese State. It's a trap. Look at who they played. I started looking at their schedule. He has sent it enough during the show that I had to look up McNeese schedule.
And it's
Can I just give you some of the teams they've played this year?
Well, if you're going to read off the 3 in a row very early in November, that's laugh out loud funny, but go.
They opened with VCU, David, on the road, a nice win.
That is actually
that's a good win. They played the A-10 final.
Yes, that's a very tough place to play. It is, and they won by double digits.
They followed that up with a big win, a 31-point win over the College of Biblical Studies. After that 41-point win, they would beat Champion Christian College 110-46.
By the way, the biblical college there, Moses didn't show up that day, is what we're saying, right? Okay.
No.
All right.
No,
Insert jokes here after that, but go.
They needed Moses and Moses Malone. And then they played, I think it's Liturno? I don't know, David. I've never
heard of the school either.
That's 3 in a row. But I mean, they lost to La Tech. You go through this schedule.
They've only lost one since Thanksgiving, though.
That's great. They played a team who, on the Score app, simply just has them as the Owls. And I looked them up. They're the Mississippi University for Women. That's who they played. The Mississippi University for Women. They beat them 92-23.
Yeah. They have a stud player. They really do. They have a stud, but they have first off, they have an elite coach. Will Wade can coach. And they have a stud transfer player who transferred from a major program to play there. They got, as Trent likes to say, Mark, they got a bucket. They do. So I get you. Betting against the Zags is foolish. It's dumb.
It is dumb.
He's made, 8 straight Sweet 16s? Okay. I've lost a lot of brackets, though, having Gonzaga going deep, winning it all, Final Four, the whole deal. This is the 25th anniversary of really them being put on the map. The 99 team that went to the Elite Eight. That began the run at Gonzaga.
I'm just saying.
I know. So to review, you have 3 1s and Kentucky.
Right.
Who plays for the national title?
UConn and Purdue, with UConn cutting down the nets again.
Okay. And you have no double-digit teams in the Sweet 16. In fact, you have the top 16 seeds in the Sweet 16.
This is CBS's dream bracket right here.
Unbelievable. Okay.
All right, Western Kentucky, what do you got for me in the Final Four?
All right. This is, I will say, just in terms of first, I had the 2 12s, McNichol and James Madison. All right. I do think Wisconsin's going to struggle. Wisconsin commits fouls every trip down the floor on both ends of the floor. I really think the refs could just take Wisconsin off the floor in the game. They're going to have to clean up how they play in the tournament. If they do, they're good. And I like their matchup in the second round against Duke if they can get there, because I definitely think they're tougher than Duke. But they have to get by James Madison to do it. I have James Madison, McNeese State, both in the Sweet 16. I have St. Mary's in the Elite Eight. I have St. Mary's taking out North Carolina in the Sweet 16. My Final Four, Auburn out of the East, Arizona out of the West, Houston out of the South, and the 3rd seed, Creighton, out of the Midwest. Creighton beats Purdue in the Elite Eight.
1 seed going to the Final Four.
I have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in my Final Four.
That's 10. I have 6. Trent, what's your Final Four?
A 1, a 3, a 3, and a 4.
Who are they?
Auburn, Houston, Baylor, Creighton.
Wow, we have 3 of the same 4 Final Fours.
Mark is going to hate this consensus bracket. In the
It's
next hour.
probably the worst idea we've had on the show. You'd have to go back to the first act to the listener draft.
Well, we can squash it.
No. Not at this point. I'm too fired up for it.
Okay.
I've got a bottle of booze in the car. I'm getting it during the 9 o'clock break.
Wait.
While you two do the bracket, I'm just going to get bombed.
Most folks think you're joking too. And the funny thing is, in the building you're in, hell, nobody pays attention to us. You could do it. Okay, so in your Final Four, so Mark, you have UConn beating Purdue
for the final. Yes.
Wow, you went nuts there.
Hey, Purdue making the final is nuts.
It is. That's true.
Everybody's acting.
It's unheard of.
Thank you.
It's never happened, right?
Well, hold on. I know the Joe Barry Carroll team lost in the semis to UCLA in 80. Didn't they make a Final Four like back in the 40s or 50s? They've never made the title game?
Yeah, I think it was 60 something. Maybe they made the title game that year, but it hasn't happened post World War II. Maybe. I don't know. That was a horrible benchmark I just picked.
Yeah. Go black and white. Okay. Go black and white. All right. All right. For the record, I have Auburn beating Arizona in the Final Four, and that's in Phoenix, by the way. So I have Auburn playing Houston for the national title because Houston beats Creighton in the Final Four. And Mark, I don't know if you sense a theme here, but I went with outlaw coaches. In this day and age, like Will Wade and McNeese State going to the Sweet 16. I just, come on. Can we get any richer than that? The guy got fired for cheating as part of an FBI sting. All right. And then he finally gets back into coaching and he takes a team from the Southland to the Sweet 16. So you get where I'm going here. Imagine a championship game between Kelvin Sampson, let go from 2 places for not playing by the rules. He got fired at Indiana for phone calls. How absurd does that look today? Tressel for the tattoos, Kelvin Sampson for the phone calls, or wait for it, Bruce Pearl for, wasn't it a picnic?
Barbecue. He had a barbecue at the
that
house.
He had at his
Right.
house. Right. Right. And the players were there and it was off the grounds. Right. So to review, I want Kelvin Sampson against Bruce Pearl. 2 disgraces to the profession. Okay. We're paying players out in the open right now. The players are publicly disclosing how much money they want before they sign with you. So I think to represent the NCAA perfectly in 2024, guys, we have Kelvin Sampson against Bruce Pearl in the national championship game. And I hope Pearl coaches the game with his shirt off.
I don't, because I want to see him sweat through it.
And I have Houston winning.
David, I have the same final as you, but I have Auburn winning.
Okay.
Once again, Mark, get ready for this consensus bracket we're about to do.
Wow.
Where is the bottle?
Listen, Trent and I are either going to be very near the very top of all our bracket contests, or we could be done by Sunday.
Absolutely. No, I mean, you could win national contests with the way your picks are.
David, we could be done tonight if Auburn loses in the first round.
They're not losing to Yale.
Oh, I don't think so either. I'm just saying that's how crazy this stuff is. I mean, you said we could be done Sunday. We could be done in a few hours.
Well, I have to admit, when Shane McNichol was talking about how he liked Akron to be able to play with Creighton in a 314, I'm like, no, not that one. No.
Oh, I will tell you this much. If there's now, I'm all in on the Zips. And I've got Creighton going to the Elite Eight, but to be able to show up tomorrow morning and have both of you lose a Final Four team to Akron from the MAC.
Yeah, that's rich.
I'll tell you what, though, that is very much the MAC. The MAC does stuff like that in the tournament. They really
MAC
do.
used to. There was a time they did, but the MAC is.
Well, Buffalo used to do it all the time.
Well, who was the guy? Was it Ohio or Akron? Who was the one? And then he went to coach Illinois about 10 years ago. He took them to the Sweet 16, I thought. So
cool. I love.
So we've got a Houston, we've got an Auburn, and we've got a UConn. Those are our winners. Good luck with your bracket.
Right. 21,000. Let us know who you got. All right. Give us your Final Four and your champion.
And more importantly, lock in and enjoy today, because it is the most electric day of the sports calendar. Start to finish, all day long.
Trent wants to set the over-under at buzzer beaters at a half, and he's just hoping it goes over each day.
See, that's the thing. We got to get good games. There are times, the funny thing in Southwest Florida, they remember FGCU, and the first day and a half of that tournament was bad. There were literally no upsets. The games were not necessarily close. It's part of why, when FGCU did what they did, the whole country was like, oh, thank God, we need somebody. Enjoy the tournament. We'll talk tomorrow, see how many of us have already lost half our bracket.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust.
Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Forbes.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I'll fill out the bracket for you according to that. Yeah, Canada Relief. We had that joke yesterday, but yeah, it's good. The ACC interview was yesterday at 8:38. So you could download it Mongo at millerandmoulton.com.
By the
Canada
way,
Relief.
Sorry, go ahead, David.
No, Canada Relief, I'm with you. When he got up and when I saw that he left, I said, well, he went and got the booze. Good for him.
There's a bottle of Clutch vodka in here. I could down the whole thing if I have to.
Well, you might as well. They still haven't paid.
They hadn't paid anybody.
I've got something on every matchup if you guys want to do that. Like go through game by game and spend a minute on each game.
Well, we can't do that. There's 67 games, 63 now.
Right, but like the ones in 16s, you know, you can just whatever.
Are we going consensus here? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, but I think we need to give you like UN Security Council veto power for one or two picks.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is a Diamond District bonus hour on this glorious day in which the NCAA tournament begins in full. We are down to 64. And we have 16 games today and 16 tomorrow. Soak it up. 12:15 today, Michigan State, Mississippi State. Let's get this party started. By the way, for the record, we were talking about Purdue, and we wondered when's the last time they had gotten beyond the Final Four, because we know Joe Barry Carroll's team in 1980 got to the Final Four, lost to UCLA, I believe, in the Final Four. The 69 team played for the title. So the 69 team, is that the legendary Rick Mount? But the 69 Purdue team, okay, and Edie, I think, just passed Rick Mount to become Purdue's all-time leading scorer. So Purdue made it to the final in 69, but they've never won it. But 80 is the last time they went to the Final Four. 69 is the last time they played for the title 55 years ago. You know, there's a few things going on, Mark. Your Spartans, 2000, last Big Ten champion, right?
Yes.
Hasn't been a team West, you know, Rockies West that's won it since Arizona in 97. You know, you get west of Kansas, you know, who's won a title west of Kansas?
I mean, obviously San Diego State played for it. The Zags played for it.
The last Pac-12 team to win was Arizona in 97.
There you go.
So that's even worse than the Big Ten. They got an even drier drought.
You know, UCLA,
and if they don't get one this year, it will be the last one ever for the Pac-12.
That's good point. Arizona.
I mean, now's, you know, who will win a title first, Arizona in the Big 12 or UCLA in the Big 10?
These jokes will never get old.
They don't. And watching Moulton shake his head in disgust when I do it is the best part.
Well, this is my favorite part. You just told an anecdote last segment in which you talked about you've got a bunch of people you play golf with. Many of them are Big Ten people. You got a group of Illinois guys. You got a group of Michigan guys that you play golf with. And you said your Michigan guys are like SEC fans. They root for the Big Ten all the time.
All the time.
You even said your Michigan guys, the only time they root against Ohio State is when they play Michigan. That they want Ohio State 11-0 every year. And then, of course,
and then
they
beat them.
over.
Right.
So here's what I'm wondering. Since it's been nearly a quarter century since the Big Ten has won the NCAA tournament. Are those guys, your Illinois, your Michigan guys, are they in a couple years when UCLA is playing for the title, are they going to be like, well, here it is? Chance to snap the skid.
I hope not. But I have the feeling that they will.
When Dana Altman's got Oregon back in a Final Four, you go, here we go. We're in the Final Four.
This is so ugly. When you really think about it.
I know. I know. So, all right. So just a few things going on here. Hey, for that matter, please, in Lexington, they're like, we haven't won in 12 years. I mean, at Kentucky, it's like the Yankees. Talk to a Yankee fan. We haven't won the World Series in 15 years. In fact, we haven't even been to the World Series in 15 years. All right. This is a crisis. So I hope John Cal made some fans yesterday. John Cal was like, yeah, expanding the tournament's the dumbest idea in the world.
Good for him.
Yep. John Cal's like, please. Now, Izzo, we're kind of going through his comments there because he's quoted as saying that mid-majors shouldn't necessarily be guaranteed an automatic berth if they win their conference tournament. And needless to say, there's backlash from that. I'm just laughing because one of his good friends is Greg Campy, the head coach of Oakland, and he plays them damn near every year. I can't wait for Campy the next time he sees him to go, what the hell are you talking about? I shouldn't get in the tournament when I win.
He's been there for 40 years, Greg
I
Campy.
know. Got that job when he was 29, I think. That's remarkable.
If they expand the tournament more than 4 teams, it would be a disaster.
I think so.
I think expanding it 4 teams is bad enough. To 68. To 72 is unnecessary. And you would think just how bad the 2 play-in games were of the 10 seeds or 11 seeds or whatever the hell they were. You would think that would squash some of the momentum to expanding this thing. But since the coaches and commissioners are the ones doing it, they just see more money, more opportunities for them to make bonuses, and it will not go away.
The other thing that I don't understand is how are they going to make more money? I mean, this TV deal runs for another 12 years, I think. I mean, the NCAA tournament TV deal with CBS and Turner, I think runs to the mid-2030s. I mean, I can't imagine CBS, which is as corporately owned now as they've ever been, and Turner, which is as corporately owned now as they've ever been. I mean, the games that they're wanting to add, those are not money-making games. The big ratings come at the back end of the tournament. The excitement may come early, but the ratings come second weekend, third weekend. So, you're going to add, go to what's the number, 96 or whatever. If I'm CBS and Turner, which is Paramount and, whoever, I'm like, yeah, no offense. We got a contract here. We ain't giving you any more money. These games don't interest us. This isn't like the college football thing. We're going to expand it. And ESPN's going, oh, wow. These are games that are going to attract 15 to 25 million people. Mm-hmm.
And there's a track record. I mean, even though we've never had this college football playoff, you can look at when big boys play and what the television numbers are for football and say, oh, my goodness, we'll increase that. You can say it. You can look at an Orange Bowl game and you can look at these playoff games, seeing what they're doing. Then you can at least be able to forward that to the college football playoff and guesstimate at what these numbers are. But going from 64, 68 to 96, the games you're putting in are NIT games.
Right. So I hope that CBS and Turner helps squash it as well. I mean, listen, Greg Sankey's done a lot of good things for college sports. He really has. I mean, he saved the 2020 college football season. And it's paid big dividends for the sport by saving it too. But This is a bad idea. There's enough greed in college athletics as it is. We don't need to go any further. You're ruining football in a lot of people's eyes. You don't need to touch any other sport. Just stick with the one. That's where the money comes from anyway. All right. Here's the deal. If we do a consensus bracket, since apparently Trent and I.
Yeah, why don't we just turn one of your two brackets in and call it a day?
Well, okay. Just take it easy. Also, you have to admit, you never have gone as chalk as you just went. I mean, you literally have the top 16 seeds in the Sweet 16.
Yes, I do.
Mark, I've known you 25 years. You've never done that before.
I haven't.
So I think a compromise needs to be reached here. And it probably, since Trent and I think, are more in agreement than you are with either one of us, I'm thinking if we do a consensus bracket, we need to give you like UN Security Council veto power on a couple of picks in which you're one of the 5 members of the UN and you go, absolutely not. We are not passing this resolution. I don't care.
Now, I'm fine with the consensus, and we'll live with it.
All right. First off, how far do you have the Gators going?
I have them winning 1 game, losing to Marquette.
And I believe Trent and I both have them going to the Sweet 16, correct?
I've got Elite 8.
Wait, hold on a second. You haven't beaten Kentucky?
Yes. I do.
Wow.
And honestly, if they weren't playing Houston, I would probably I considered Final Four. I really did.
Wow, somebody.
I love the Gators. I love their bigs. I love how athletic they are. I think they're slept on in an SEC that, has Alabama and has Auburn.
I do think the SEC doesn't get the credit in basketball that it deserves. I think that's a fair statement.
Because the Big 12 is so good and everyone loves the Big East.
Well, and also there's SEC fatigue if you're a college sports fan, you're sick of the SEC. Not just in football, they dominate in baseball and softball also. I mean, seriously, if you're a college sports fan, you're tired of the SEC. You're like, oh, for goodness sakes, really? You're good in everything? Everything? Now you start to take basketball seriously? What the heck? We liked it when only Kentucky took it seriously. Now, what are you doing? Hey, how many of you, FAU Northwestern, how many are you picking FAU?
I picked FAU. It's the only 8 that I took.
I got Northwestern.
I have Northwestern.
Boo Booey, 5th-year senior. He's a 20 points a game guy. They beat Purdue at home this season. Northwestern is rock solid.
Well, and obviously FAU's A game. I mean, everybody's back from a Final Four team. They beat Arizona. I mean, but come on, you got to admit. I mean, FAU has been FGCU inconsistent this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Arizona win is the only reason they got in, David. We talked about how much of a joke it was there on the 8 line, not the 9.
Or the 10 or 11 for that matter.
Right.
I mean, they should have been a last 4 in a lot of people's opinions.
I agree. I thought they were headed to Dayton after they lost in the semis of the
Actually thought they might be playing Michigan State in Dayton. I really thought that was a possibility.
So
now I've got a bunch. See, I've got like 2 11s winning.
But you don't have them winning a second game.
No, I have New Mexico beating Clemson.
I do as well.
I have North Carolina State beating Texas Tech.
I do not. I think NC State went on one of those runs, and a lot of times when you go on those crazy 4-4, 5-5 runs, you lose. But okay. So all right, we'll go through a little bit of a consensus bracket in the next segment. We'll do it quickly. It doesn't take long. We don't need to have Trent's 37 pages of crunching the numbers. But Trent, if you see something that you like in amongst your research paper and you want to throw it in, feel free to throw it in. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GI certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
You want to cut a promo now just so it's done?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Tell me when you're ready.
Look back at the brackets and Pat, right?
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Coming up Friday on Miller and Moulton.
We'll look back at day one of the tournament.
And it's a Friday. We'll talk NFL with Pat Kerwin.
It's Miller and Moulton, 6 a.m.
Thank you very much. Man, it's hot in here.
Yeah, your side gets just toasty.
Are we starting in the East? We'll go through this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The East is opposite the West, right?
Correct. Who cares that Marvin Harrison didn't work out at the pro day? He's the best player in the draft. I'd be done working out if I was Marvin Harrison too.
He worked out at last year's pro day when they had C.J. Stroud and the wide receiver on the Jets, and they had just a ton of guys, and everybody was like, the guy who's not eligible is the best player on the field. That's what he said. He's like, I did this last year. You were all here. I don't have to do this again. The only thing people are wondering is people are like, so you didn't run at the combine. Basically, they don't have a 40 time on them. Okay. And that's the only thing that some people are like, is he trying to hide something?
Gotcha.
Like I heard Pat will probably bring it up tomorrow if we bring it up. Like I think one of Gil Brandt's things was, yeah, if I don't have a 40 time on you, I ain't drafting you.
Also, EB, no, I have no idea who Roy Hobbs is.
The movie The Natural.
Oh, heard of it. Haven't seen it.
I doubt you missed anything. Me neither. Another baseball movie. Yippee.
Okay.
I will say I had a buddy who in college who was like, "Oh, have you seen Bull Durham? I love Bull Durham," and he was just raving about it. So we sat down and watched it one night. I thought it was fine, but I was expecting like a Academy Award winning sports movie.
All right.
Now, I will say the timing of it, that movie's 30
Bull Durham?
years old. And so in terms of, media access and poking fun, it was.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, The Natural I couldn't get through. I literally tried to watch it 3 times, fell asleep every time I watched it.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not a huge, I'm not Field of Dreams and I'm not The Natural.
Field of Dreams I like more than The Natural. The Natural put me to sleep. I literally was like, this is not my thing.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
All right, we got 10 minutes. We'll do it very quickly. Mark, I'll give you 1 or 2 UN Security Council veto powers. All right, because you're Mr. Chalk, and Trent and I went off the, reservation a little bit.
All right.
So, Trent,
we all have UConn winning.
Right, Trent, it's got to be a really good nugget from your research paper. Really good. All right?
Yep.
Otherwise, we just do this. We'll start in the East. It's East opposite West, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Our consensus, UConn, obviously. So we have Northwestern 2 out of 3 over FAU.
Yep, you do.
Yep. Once again, Mark already for his second consensus pick. He's against this. We all have Auburn beating Yale. I'm assuming we have San Diego State over UAB.
Yes.
And then we have UConn, Auburn in the Sweet 16.
Yes.
Right? Trent and I have Auburn winning.
So I can do nothing about that. Auburn's going to beat UConn.
Okay. Now this is, once again, I gave you 1 or 2 UN Security Council.
I'll take my 1. I'm not going to use it with UConn. I think this is a tough matchup.
Okay. So we have Auburn through to the Elite 8. Now in the bottom half of the draw, BYU Duquesne, we all love BYU. Illinois Morehead State, we all love Illinois. Illinois BYU in the second round, 3-6. Who do we like?
Illinois.
BYU.
BYU.
Good gracious, you guys are morons. Go ahead, put your BYU in there. I've got to save it for Purdue Creighton. I know where I'm saving my veto.
Okay, it's fine. We all have Drake beating Washington State, correct?
I have Washington State.
You're outvoted there.
That's okay.
Right. That's the one we win.
We're going with former FGCU assistant Marty Richter. We're going with the Bulldogs. They blew it last year against Miami. They don't blow it this year. All right. We all have Iowa State over South Dakota State. Iowa State Drake. We have Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yep.
Okay. BYU Iowa State, Mark.
I have Illinois beating Iowa State. So I'm out. Jerry, I'm out.
Okay.
Iowa State.
And Trent and I both have Iowa State. So for the record, Mark has UConn, Illinois in the Elite 8. All right. And yet our consensus bracket has Auburn against Iowa State.
I've got nothing over here.
Right. So, okay.
Outvoted.
So we have Auburn coming out of the East. Mark, how do you feel about that?
Morons.
All right. We have Carolina beating. Are they Wagner or Grambling? Who are they playing? We have winning. Okay. Mississippi State, Michigan State.
Playing Wagner. North Carolina's playing Wagner.
Yes, correct. My bad. Michigan State. Go Green.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan State.
I am as well, actually. I know you two are rooting for them, but I took them. In the bottom half, St. Mary's Grand Canyon.
I have Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Ha!
So then we're
Take
going
that, Moulton.
this hurts me.
I know it does.
I have St. Mary's going all the way to the Elite Eight. So, all right, Alabama, Charleston.
Bama.
Bama.
All right, I went with Bama as well. So, Carolina, Michigan State.
UNC.
UNC.
And then Grand Canyon, Bama.
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 All right, Carolina, Bama on their side.
Carolina.
Carolina.
Okay, good, because I've got St. Mary's. All right, bottom half of the West, Clemson, New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Lobos.
Yeah, all three of us going with New Mexico, so they're done. Put a fork in them. We're all going with Baylor over Colgate.
That's correct.
Correct. Dayton, Nevada.
Nevada.
I have Dayton.
I have Nevada, so we're going with Nevada. Arizona, Long Beach State, we're going with Arizona, right?
Right.
Okay. New Mexico, Baylor.
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 I went with Baylor as well. And then Arizona, Nevada, as it turns out.
Zona.
Arizona.
All right. So Baylor, Arizona.
Zona.
Baylor.
As Arizona. So okay.
That's my Final Four team. Baylor.
So Trent's outvoted there. So we have a West final between the top two seeds, Carolina, Arizona.
I have Carolina.
I would like Arizona in that matchup.
Okay, and I went with Arizona.
All right.
By the way, Caleb Love, Arizona's best transfer. He
Yes.
transferred from North Carolina, so that would be pretty cool.
Yes, it would. All right. So now South and Midwest are paired against one another. Houston, Longwood. We like Houston, obviously. Nebraska A&M, an 8-9 game.
A&M.
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
First tournament win.
Sorry, Mark.
That's fine.
Wisconsin, James Madison.
James Madison.
I got Wisconsin.
And James Madison it is. Duke, Vermont.
Duke.
Duke.
Duke. Okay. Houston, Nebraska.
Houston.
Houston.
James Madison, Duke.
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 James Madison for me, so it'll be Duke. Okay, Houston against Duke in the.
I have Duke.
I would take Houston.
I took Houston. Okay, so we got Houston in the Elite Eight. Meanwhile, in the other half, Texas Tech, NC State.
NC State.
Wolfpack.
Wow, I got to live with that. I took Texas Tech. Kentucky, Oakland.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, Florida, Colorado.
The Gators.
Gators.
Yep, and unanimous there. Marquette, Western Kentucky.
Marquette.
I'll take Marquette, but I like where David's going.
I took Western Kentucky, but we have to go with Marquette. All right. NC State, Kentucky.
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 Florida, Marquette.
Marquette.
Florida. Come on, David.
I had Florida in the Sweet 16. So
There he goes.
Okay, so Kentucky, Florida.
Kentucky.
Florida.
Kentucky. So we have a Houston, Kentucky South Region final. We're going with
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Oh my goodness, I went with Houston, so we're going with Kentucky. All right. So we have Auburn out of the East, a 4, Arizona out of the West, a 2, and Kentucky out of the South, who, by the way, would have to beat Houston and Dallas for the record, a 3. To the Midwest we go. I know Trent's taking Grambling against Purdue, but Mark and I are going to push Purdue through, right?
Right.
Okay. And I know Trent's not taking Purdue, but he's just so down on them. Utah State, TCU.
I took TCU.
Utah State.
I took Utah State. All right. An 8 over a 9. Gonzaga, McNeese State.
McNeese.
McNeese. Joe Dumars.
Look at that. We're
cursing these 12s.
McNeese State's going to lose by 23,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Mhm.
We just went unanimous on a 12 seed against a team that's made 8 consecutive Sweet 16s.
Right.
By the way, this is the 2-minute warning.
Kansas, Samford.
Kansas.
Kansas.
I
But
went
I
with
can see it
Samford.
happening, David. I can totally see it.
Okay, we go with Kansas. Purdue against Utah State.
Purdue.
Purdue.
McNeese State, Kansas.
Kansas.
McNeese.
McNichol, it is.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Okay, other side of the draw, South Carolina, Oregon.
South Carolina.
Gamecocks.
Okay, South Carolina it is. I went with Oregon. Creighton, Akron.
Creighton.
Creighton. Texas, Colorado State.
Colorado State.
Colorado State.
Yeah, unanimous there with the 10 seed. Okay, Tennessee, St. Peter's.
Tennessee.
Okay. South Carolina and Creighton.
Creighton.
And then Colorado State, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I got the Rams.
Okay, so Purdue's against McNeese State in the Sweet 16.
Yes.
We're going Purdue. And then Creighton, Tennessee.
So you've got Tennessee then. Because we have Colorado State. He has Colorado State. I have Tennessee. So you're breaking that tie with Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm taking Creighton. Oh. Okay. So Purdue, Creighton in the Elite Eight.
Creighton.
Purdue.
And I say Creighton. No, Mark's going UN Security Council veto power, and he's putting Purdue through to the Final Four. Mark, for the record, that means we have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Exactly. We're going to get at least one seed to the Final Four, for crying out loud.
All right. It'd be Auburn against Arizona.
Auburn.
Yeah, okay. All three of us have Auburn. Kentucky, Purdue. Okay. Auburn, Purdue. Auburn then is our consensus champion.
Yes!
Locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Top of the ninth in Korea.
They got him on the corners. No outs, though. 12-11. 4-hour game.
Because the Padres are the road team, right? So they're up 12-11, so we'll have a bottom of the ninth.
We'll have a bottom of the ninth. The Padres are up right now. Runners on the corners, no outs. So this thing's not anywhere close to being over.
This is going to run longer than Miller and Moulton.
This show, we will not end the show before this game's over.
It'll be close. It'll be close.
Well, because if whoever
could get extras.
Well,
this guy gives up one more hit, they'll pull him.
Over under on this game was 8.5.
The 12-5 upset that no one's picking is UAB and San Diego State. Watch that be the one. That'll be the one.
Well,
McNeese will lose.
The UAB has no business being a 12.
I know. They're 0-4 in quad one. They stink.
Now I'm doing one for CBS Sports that I'm just throwing caution to the wind.
That's fun.
I may post our consensus bracket somewhere and see how it does.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, people like that segment, apparently. I know it's dated, so you can't run it as a best of, unless we did really well.
Yeah. We win.
Yeah, but we won't be doing a best of for a long time.
By the way, Manny
Machado just went yard.
Yeah.
15-11.
15-11. What is this, Virginia basketball at the half?
Yes, there's the line. The Padres have outscored the Cavaliers.
I really think Auburn was the best kept secret throughout this whole process. I think they're good.
God, this is so. I just picking games as fast as I can on a CBS Sports bracket. I have a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. David, Houston, Tennessee, Baylor, and Auburn.
Houston, Tennessee, Baylor, Auburn. Fun. That'd be a fun Final Four.
And for you, Trent, I picked Auburn.
Nice. 5th in the net, 4th in Ken Pom, 27 wins, and they're a 4 seed.
What's their defensive metric, though? I mean, where are they in offensive?
I don't know. I'll check.
Well, they're one of the 17s that can win the title.
Yeah. They are?
Yep.
Tennessee?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Auburn, rather?
Auburn.
Yeah,
Auburn.
So funny. So the tag-along story came up yesterday when we were at dinner. And Maddie now loves the fact that she was part of a segment and still thinks it's hysterical that the listeners said it was okay that I ate the and the people who listened to a show said it was okay that he ate the cookies.
So, Trent, just to give you an idea of what it's been like to do a show with me over the years, this is the most chalk bracket I think I've ever filled out.
And yet you still have,
a 1, 2, 3, and a 4.
2 12s, a 13, and a 15 winning. 2 12s to the Sweet 16.
And
I got 2 11s winning.
I came close to picking Samford. That's going to be to me, it's if Kansas can get out of the first weekend, they can do damage.
Yeah,
I went with 3 of the 4 10s, 2 11s, 2 12s, a 13, and a 15, and 2 12s to the Sweet 16. This is the most chalk bracket I've ever filled out.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour, our final segment, and there's an internal debate. Will we finish before the Padres and Dodgers finish? Both the game and the show started within minutes of each other, and it's a 4-hour show. Mark, can you update the Padres and Dodgers in Seoul?
We're in the top of the 9th. 15-11 Padres. Machado just hit a 3-run blast in the top of the 9th. They're making a pitching change with a runner on first and 2 outs. So, David, there is no chance that this game will end before our show.
Come on. There's still a chance. The next guy comes in, gets him out, and then got about 10 or so minutes to get the Dodgers out in the bottom of the 9th.
You got a 2.5, 3-minute commercial break in there.
I know.
You got a pitching change and another commercial break. No way.
I will say upon further review, and this is the most chalk bracket I've ever filled out, I have 3 10s winning, 2 11s, 2 12s, a 13, and a 15, and 2 12s in the Sweet 16. I will say this, though, Mark. This is the most chalk bracket I've ever filled out, and at least my bracket reflects what I've been saying for 6 weeks. We're going to have chaos the first week, and the big boys just steamroll in week 2.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Not a lot today either, David. 1961, we start. The Beatles play the Cavern Club in Liverpool for the first time. And Art Modell buys the Browns for $3.925 million.
That seems like a good deal.
Alcatraz closed today in 1963. She Loves You by the Beatles goes number 1 today in 64. Martin Luther King Jr. begins his march from Selma to Montgomery today in 1965. Tonight in 1980, JR was shot.
Oh my goodness. And then they went on break.
Right. The cliffhanger episode, the show Dallas.
This is all going way over my head.
I want you to ask your dad if he remembers JR getting shot. Because, I mean, I was 11 years old. You have no idea, with 3 networks basically, how big of a deal it was, how big that show was.
Yep. Trent, another note to make. Just look at your parents and say, who shot JR? And then just.
And only your dad, because your dad married younger. So your mom will have no clue. Your dad will.
And they were like, well, okay, I actually have heard of this. There were like 3 suspects, right? Or you didn't know who
Well,
did
they
it.
had everybody on the show shoot JR.
Yes.
So even the people inside the show didn't know who ultimately would be the one who shot JR.
Clever.
David, it just said today in 82, Jerry Payton wins a tournament and jumps in the water. Was that the Players? Where did he do that at?
I thought it was the Players.
I thought it was the Players. It had to be, right? This time of year. 84, the NFL passed its anti-celebrating rule.
So it became the No Fun League 40
Today
years
in
ago
84.
today?
Gretzky ties Howe at 8:01 today in 94. And the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, sends out the first tweet today in 2006.
What was it, by the way? Something like, the first phone call, didn't, Bell say, something, come here, Mr. Watson, or something? Do we know what the first tweet was?
I do. I've got to pull it up.
Sorry, my bad.
Just setting up my Twitter was the first tweet. With Twitter spelled TWTTR.
Huh. There's really no need to shorten it like that, but okay, you're the boss.
Eddie Money would have celebrated a birthday today. Yeah, Tom Flores is 87. David's favorite actor, Matthew Broderick, 62.
He killed the guy, you know that?
Yes, he did. Rosie O'Donnell's also 62. And hockey player with a cannon for a slap shot, Ally Afraidy, is 58 years old today.
Ooh.
He had a cannon.
He sure did. Point on the power play. That was a handful.
He'd win the hardest shot competitions
and
then fire a lung dart up in the locker room. That's all I've got, David. What did I miss?
Well, on the same day that the Dallas cliffhanger aired, we shot JR at night, Mark, but during the day, President Carter announced that we were boycotting the Summer Olympics in Moscow. So remember, the Lake Placid Games had ended 4 weeks ago because we won the final day of the Olympics was February 24th. That's when we won the gold in hockey. So, yeah. Timing.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Maryland for the good, where an Annapolis woman identified by her nickname, Cher, was cleaning out her purse and discovered she had a $50,000 Powerball prize buried in her purse.
I hope it hadn't expired.
It had not expired.
Great.
She had 2 tickets. One of them won $7. Another one won $50,000. She had no idea. One of those, she just went up to the took her tickets to the store, asked the clerk to scan them, and found out she won $50,000. For the bad, we go to Tennessee, where a fisherman in a northeast Tennessee lake caught a bit of a surprise when he pulled up a 3.5-foot alligator. They don't have alligators in Tennessee lakes.
No. Hey, dude, what are you doing here? That's me talking to the gator.
Finally, the ugly. We go to Salt Lake City, where Wycliffe Fluzard was arrested Sunday after boarding a Delta Airlines flight from Salt Lake City to Austin. He took a photo of another passenger's boarding pass and tried to use the boarding pass to board the flight. Got on the plane, opened the door to a storage space for emergency equipment. A flight attendant helped him get to the lavatory. He said he had to use the bathroom. Lied. Went to the front of the plane. Then he moved to a lavatory in the back of the plane. When he exited, he said his seat was 21F. But there was a ticketed passenger in 21F, and it turned out his name didn't pop up on the itinerary for the flight, and they confirmed that he was trying to be a stowaway on a flight, and he was arrested for felony charges. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, March the 21st, 2024.
Do you know there's 11 games in the NHL tonight? I know it's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday league and all, but I mean, come on now. Doesn't somebody look at the calendar and go, you know, this is the third Thursday of March. We're not going to get a lot of attention today. Both the Panthers and Lightning are in action. Tampa Bay still on the West Coast where they're crushing it. They're in San Jose where they should crush it. Look at this. On the road, they're minus 360.
Exactly.
But Panthers are home for Nashville,
who's red hot.
Yeah, and the Panthers are now 3 points behind the Bruins. Okay, I understand that the Bruins have played, 2 more games than the Panthers? But, you know, don't want to get too many more points behind. I know the Panthers, in theory, if they win out, they're the 1 seed, but that doesn't happen in hockey. Speaking of the Bruins, they're hosting the Rangers tonight. That's an interesting game.
It is. Wings and Islanders, big game, huge game for both teams.
Huge. In Detroit. Monster game. So that's the NHL. There is basketball tonight that's not college. There are 7 games in the NBA. One of them in Orlando. The Red Hot Magic hosting Zion and the Pelicans.
I was going to say the Red Hot Pelicans and the Red Hot Magic. Pelicans are a 2.5-point favorite on the road against Orlando.
Magic, the number 1 team in the league against the spread. Not only the 5th best team in the East, but the number 1 team in the league against the spread. Interesting game. Knicks are shorthanded, but they've swept this West Coast road trip, and they wrap it up in Denver against the Nuggets.
Nuggets really a 10-point favorite in that game.
I know. And Denver's had some big games of late, though. They just had a Minnesota game. You know, it'd be interesting to see if Denver, they fully show up tonight.
Moulton could win his first bet of the day. There's one out in the bottom of the 9th, and this game very well may end before our show. It's going to be close. I need a base runner.
And for the record, the San Diego Padres in 9 innings outscored the Virginia Cavaliers in a half.
And Indiana State is watching at home.
And they scored 102 last night in their NIT win. Their NIT game, I think, was like 102-91.
What a great FU for the Sycamores. You put that team in over us, the team that had 14 at the half. Let's go drop a hundo.
Listen, we've said it, though. There are many things you can criticize the committee about, but they gave UConn men a tough region. They gave the Iowa women the toughest region. And they didn't put Indiana State in the first 4, which clearly would have been a much better ratings, attention, publicity thing than if they had put Virginia in. So they're not taking, it's not like they're sitting down. You think there's a conspiracy and this, they ain't taking ratings into effect here. They're trying to knock the UConn men, the Iowa women, and they didn't invite Indiana State.
They screwed up with Virginia. Sorry.
Yeah, they did.
And they got burnt because Virginia played incredibly poorly. And it made those that think there's a conspiracy theory seem like they're right, when in fact David's right. There's no conspiracy theory.
No.
They do their job. There was 5 bids stolen in the last 2 days of the season. And
Max Muncy just struck out. Game's over. Sorry. Didn't mean to.
no, they beat it out. Nearly 4 hours in Korea.
Little 3:45 finale to a 2-game series.
Now we go to March 28th, 1 week from today, when we actually have the opening night of the baseball season.
That's
and
our
of
poll
course
question.
They're going to do it across from the 5th night of March Madness. Why do it on Monday when you have the night to yourself?
True. I will say a lot of baseball during the day, and the tournament a week from tonight doesn't start until almost 7:30.
Right.
So, they can get a lot of games in. By the way, we're going to go crazy. You take a look at some of the teams they have playing and where they have the games. Our pet peeve, like the Mets are playing Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a roof. The Mets don't. So, of course, on March 28th, they're playing the game in New York.
Makes perfect sense.
Of course it does. Our poll question, by the way, speaking of openers, what's your favorite this time of year opener? The first day of the NCAA tournament? A week from today, opening day of Major League Baseball season. 3 weeks today, it's the Masters on CBS. By the way, no Nance in the tournament. First time since the Reagan administration.
Wow.
I know when Nance started he replaced Musburger in 91 in terms of doing the Final Four. Nance did, all those Final Fours in a row, from Duke beating UNLV in the semis and beating Kansas in the final in 91 through last year. He did every one of those Final Fours. But I'm guessing Nance did the tournament, had a regional, what have you. He started with CBS, I think, in 86. So this is the first NCAA tournament in 35 years without Jim Nance.
It won't feel like it's the first tournament without Jim Nance, though, because he will be in every commercial break throughout the tournament. In fact, David, I want you to find a commercial break this weekend that doesn't feature Jim Nance in a commercial.
There's even one that is centered around him. Usually the commercials are centered around Chuck or Spike. There's one that is literally about Jim Nance and how he needs to find a hobby now that he's not calling March Madness games.
Does it count if Nance voices the commercial?
Of course.
I'm just asking. Just wanted clarification.
In fact, if any commercial says hello, friends, and he's not on it, it still counts as Nance.
Because Nance voices the Titleist commercials. He's not in them, but he voices them. So I just, not that we'll see a Titleist commercial in March Madness, but that's why I asked. If his voice or he appears, we count it. So is Nance for 2 weeks going to replace Peyton Manning?
Yes. That's a great analogy right there, David. That is a very good comparison. I like it a lot.
Nance for 2 weeks might be replacing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce for most commercials.
The Athletic did a story. They asked the coaches their favorite band artist, and I forget the coach, but he said Taylor Swift. And he's like a double-digit seed, and the media was all like, oh, you're just trying to get the Swifties to root for you, aren't you?
Darn right.
Enjoy the madness. We'll talk tomorrow.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts,